What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. That's what I just said. Just listen when I speak. You know what I mean?
I listened when you spoke earlier. When we were going to pretend that
Don't ruin it for the pre-show. That's pre-show content. You're giving it away for free.
Was I invisible? Why is
that was a good use of one.
That's a really good one.
Use of one shot. All right, Kevin.
We're having fun today.
Greg, can you bring that last little 2-liter Diet Coke?
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the GameOverGreggy show. How are you? I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
All day you've been cock teasing me.
Yeah.
With this WWE survival event. I said, Greg, how did it go?
Yeah.
And you said, I can't wait to tell you, but I'm not going to say anything now, which is so un-Greg Miller that I hate it. So I can't wait to hear the story.
It's rare that I have something that you are interested in.
Very rare.
Usually my stories of video games and pop culture shenanigans don't move you at all.
Fair.
But this one, you went from 6 to midnight real quick, wanting to hear about what was happening at the Staples Center, what Survivor Series was like.
It looked like it was a really, really, really like amazing event. Like your seats alone, I was like, holy shit. Like there are spots where, I mean, you guys must have been front row, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard that Brock Lesnar talk shit to you.
There's a lot to cover in Survivor Series.
I see.
But again, as you ignored me, you ignored 30. Under 30.
30 for 30.
That's me.
30 for 30. My apologies.
It's so easy.
ESPN's 30 for 30.
It's my pant size.
Tim Gettys.
30 for 30.
It's true.
No, it's not.
34-30?
Oh, 30. I'm sorry.
I see what you did there.
I heard
also, I
30
like
for
how
30.
fast Kevin's ready to call your pant size.
Yeah.
That is a man who's gone shopping with your mother before.
I guess.
Non-sequitur. I tried on pants, some new jeans this weekend, and I had to go down to a size that I've never been to before, which was exciting. Well, no, but you know how it's like over the years, the sizing I feel like has crept upward, where like a 32 is not a 32 anymore.
I just hate how pants in general are. You go
Because
anywhere.
they put a lot of stretch and shit in
Levi's
them,
to
you know?
Wranglers to Walmart. They're not the same pants every time.
But
that's the worst part. You order something. I've ordered Levi's offline because you took me to that Levi's store that one time.
Love it.
And then I order the same exact pants, same exact cut, same exact size. They're not the same size.
No.
Come on.
I squeezed myself into a 32, and I was like, it had a lot of stretch in it. You know, I have a lot. This is like leggings at this point. Squeezed myself in, felt fantastic. I was like, oh my God, I've never been a 32 before. Like, this is awesome. I'm definitely getting these jeans. Look over my wife, and she's like, it's a hard shake no. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, those look painted on.
Bulgy? You
Like
got the bulge? You got
it
the
wasn't.
nick
She was
bulge?
like, the front actually looks okay, but the back
little
is
booty?
not what you want it to
Packed
be.
like some
Solid snake.
fucking
And I
pressed ham
looked
in
back,
there.
and I was like, oh my God.
Look at it, baby.
Look at that fucking pert ass. And she
Does
was like,
he play
it's-
volleyball? He does. Life's
He
a
must
garden.
work
Dig
out.
it.
Oh my God.
My favorite thing that happened today is what just happened on the show of you being like, hey, cool, Greg, can you get me that last little 2-liter of Diet Coke? And I was like, is Nick this deranged that a 2-liter is little? And now I understand what you were saying. There was a little bit left
there was one
in a
little bit
2-liter.
left. Not really. I mean, it's still like half a fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're
half a 2-liter.
if you take that down today, I'll be impressed.
Oh, I'll take it down today.
Are you kidding
wow.
me?
You fucking kidding me? You ever met me?
That's
Yeah,
done.
I know.
People are legitimately tweeting at me with
You have a
like
problem.
statistics of how much caffeine consumption I have, and they're
Well,
worried.
the problem is that you quit it. You quit the junk for
Quit
a
it for a while.
long time, and then you didn't come back. You came back hard.
So
all right,
hard.
You came back like you had something to prove. Like there had been false allegations against Diet Coke, and they got cleared in court. And you're like, you know what? It's back
It's
on.
party time, doggy dog.
It's it's one of those things where I think I only drink Diet Coke now.
Yeah,
like I
exactly.
can't remember the last time I had a water.
Sure,
and that's
yeah.
not good for you.
It's like
Can't be good.
It's like one of those rom-coms where you had this relationship and you guys broke up over something stupid and you both got remarried, and then through happenstance that ended, whether it be death, murder, or just taxes, and then you guys came back together, but you're still mad about the other thing, but they're still together now and they know they're supposed to be together forever. Swans. That's
It's
what I
like
call the
Ross and
movie.
Rachel when like we were on a break.
No, yeah, kind of,
Kind
but
of
like not really. Ross and Rachel was a weird relationship.
They were on a
you know what I
break.
mean? They were on a break.
They
I
were on
agree.
a break.
I agree.
I was on
agree.
Ross's side on that one.
Sure, of course, they were on a break.
We took a break.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
I'm allowed to bang bang.
Yeah. Tim, you wanted 5 minutes of the show before we get to the real topic, which will be the fact that I went to WWE Survivor
Why are you
Series
trying to push this
and had a
WWE
crazy
Survivor
thing.
Series on
You
everyone?
started it. Again, what we said was we're going to give Tim 5 minutes. You were there for that conversation as well.
I
You
took
immediately
Tim's
ignored
5
it.
minutes.
You immediately ignored it and started talking to me
What is
immediately about
what
this.
the show is?
Yeah, I know, it's anarchy. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 3 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny Funny, where you can get each and every episode early. So early, you could be watching it live right now, like all of our $1 patrons are. Thank you all. Of course, the day we're recording this is hashtag thank you patrons. Thank you all for making our lives possible. We couldn't do Kind of Funny without you. We would be nothing. Thank you for your support. We really, 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 really couldn't have Andy. Couldn't have Cool Greg.
I'd still be here.
Oh, Cool Greg would still be here.
He'd
Okay,
still
sorry,
be
that's
here.
good. Yeah,
He wouldn't be
exactly.
getting paid,
He would get
bro.
paid. Yeah. But no, we couldn't do it without patreon.com/kindoffunny, where you can go watch it early on Friday as well. It goes up as a big video. It goes up as a big MP3. If you watch live or you watch the video on Friday, you get a pre and post show as well on patreon.com/kindoffunny. If you don't want to give us any money though, and you don't care about the pre and post show, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindoffunny or podcast services around the globe the following Friday. It's up for everybody. It's a week late, but no big deal. You'd be hearing about Survivor Series way later, but whatever. But right now, Tim's got 5 minutes on the floor. What's up?
It's real quick. I've talked
I
about
think
this
do
a
it. Be as long
lot.
as you want.
I've talked about this a lot on the Kind of Funny morning show and just to you guys in the office and separate little conversations where I think I've told every single person here, you gotta fucking give this shit a shot. Hasan Minhaj.
Yeah.
Killing the damn game.
We had a few.
All right?
We had a few questions about Patriot Act in the pre-show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Comedian, he writes for The Daily Show, or at least wrote for The Daily Show. I don't
Wrote for
think
the
he
Daily
does
Show.
anymore.
Got big doing the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He was
Okay.
one of the
For
first.
Trump.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it for Trump? Was it his first year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he went in.
Did well. You
Well,
know,
everybody
Michelle
did,
Wolf.
right? That's why Trump didn't even go.
Fair. Yeah. So we got, and then he had an amazing special that came out on Netflix. That was
Okay.
What was it called? Homecoming.
Wait, am I totally wrong? He did Obama.
He did Obama. I don't think he did Trump. I think
Michelle Wolf did
Yeah.
Trump. Yeah.
I was gonna say because he didn't make it. It would have been.
He still went in though.
Crazy.
He went in hard.
But Obama was there.
Yeah, and
That's
he
what
went,
made it
he
fun.
went in, and it was
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, he got his jump there, and then he got a Netflix special.
Prom King? What was it called?
Homecoming King.
Homecoming King.
And it is one of my favorite specials I've ever seen because it's funny as hell, but it's one of those kind of like storytelling where it's just as much stand-up comedy as it is like a one-man show. But he's very progressive with the use of stage presence and set design. He has a video wall.
You like that already?
I'm already fucking in. But Homecoming, did you watch Homecoming King?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
It was amazing.
I think it was one of the best specials of last
such
year.
great use
I think it was last
of
year.
him telling a lot of jokes, and then the punchline would be accented by the video wall behind him, and it never felt
Wait,
forced.
do you have the Jordans that he's wearing?
Yeah, dude.
Are you basing
Wait.
your entire life on him?
Hell yeah, let's go.
Oh wait, no.
I can't get him that high.
Do the
So these are black cement threes. What Kevin was about to pull up are white cement threes. Classics. But anyways, Homecoming King is fantastic. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Amazing story of his life, and it is, like I was saying, perfectly accented by the video wall, but also camera movements where the camera kind of spins around him, and like he's always aware of where the camera is.
Yeah.
It was super good, so good, and got so many views and so much attention that Netflix was like, hey, we will straight up buy you off of The Daily Show, and we want you to do a weekly talk show on Netflix. And they bought 30 episodes, which is the biggest deal they've done so far. Michelle Wolf had, the reason I was confused is they also gave her, because of the Trump Correspondents' Dinner,
Yeah, they gave her
own
that
show.
daily or
And
weekly show.
it was a weekly thing, and I watched every week. It was awesome, but it was definitely a traditional like late night talk show.
I think Chelsea lately had a show like that too, right?
Yeah.
Or Chelsea Handler, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
interesting because I think people just haven't quite acclimated to watching topical stuff on Netflix
Both were Trump.
just yet. Both were
Kevin,
Trump?
Kevin just brought it up. Yeah,
Yeah, he was
year one,
he was
year two.
Trump year 1. Wolf was year 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how those habits change because I think that like the last couple, people just didn't vibe with them. I think they're just not used to going to Netflix as
For topical stuff.
topical
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Topical stuff.
But I think that will change eventually.
So that's why this is my mini topic within the show is his new show, Patriot Act, took everything special about his stand-up 1 hour special and makes it a weekly topical show that is about politics, but it's not always about politics. There's been about 5 episodes so far.
Yeah.
And one episode will be about the current state of oil in the world.
Oil
And it
can.
gets real political and real into a bunch of stuff that I don't understand, but he tries to get it down to a way that normal people can digest it. But then the next episode will be about Amazon. And it's like pros and cons, both sides, like all the whole argument of
Is it just him monologuing like that on the stage the entire time?
it's him monologuing, but with crazy set design of it's not just video wall, it's video floor and infographics and where they get
Pro maneuver.
all it's so good, man. It is honestly,
I want
it's
a
like
video
it's
floor so
mind blowing
badly.
set design in a way that I've never seen, and it's interaction and interactivity with what he's saying with the audience and with the background, it's some next level TV shit. Like this is what everyone always talks about, like, oh, what's internet video look like on TV, or what does TV look like when it does internet video correctly? It's this. Because it is so cutting edge and so awesome and so digestible and funny and great. It's all the things. But last night's episode was about Supreme, the company, and it was
The
about
brand.
It was
Yeah.
about
The
hype.
taco.
And it was about hype and how you can, like, will hype run out? And like, can you continuously sell hype forever? And all this like really cool, super up my alley stuff.
Real quick, don't be a coward. Pull it from the bottle. Give me a pull from the bottle. Show me how tough
pull
you
from
are.
the bottle?
I want you to
take
pull
a
it from the
look?
bottle. I don't drink Diet Coke.
You're the one who tried to do. You did a shot of it. You almost choked in your
I know,
mouth.
it's so
Why don't you
gross.
Why don't
I
you?
don't know how you
You
can
know what? When I need.
Tastes
Pull from the
terrible.
bottle.
Pull from the bottle.
You know what? When I need someone to tell me how to be like an actual expert journalist,
Yeah.
I'll come to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Until then-
When you want expert analysis on how to drink Diet Coke,
Yeah.
you leave that fucking ball squarely in my court.
All right.
Do you understand that?
Sure.
How
What
dare
about
you
what
today.
about well, you taking my fashion tips too? I see.
We look like we're at a funeral. I just
Oh,
want
I
you guys
love
to
it.
know that.
Oh wow, I would.
We
I'm
are-
down for just t-shirts at funerals if we can get that started.
Oh, you can totally
If it's
do
just
that.
black t-shirts,
Black,
totally.
yeah.
And I did tell Jen on the record
What
that I
the
want to be
fuck? Who
buried
the
in my
hell's gonna
Ghostbusters
complain?
uniform. So hey,
So hey,
I'll make,
Fucking
I'll make,
mothers.
if you die before me, I'll make you an all black Ghostbusters.
no, I don't
uniform.
know. It doesn't know. It doesn't need to be black. I want my normal.
Be hilarious though, right? Take a picture like the last Instagram picture is like
well,
you just
we
in the
need
black.
to show up in black ones.
Yeah,
There you go.
But
There you go.
yes,
That's
wearing
how
one
you
too.
mourn.
Solidarity
No.
with your PP out.
Jesus.
Oh my God, Nick.
Open casket from the waist down. Back to you in the sky.
Back to what I was saying is I highly recommend this show to everybody because I really feel like it is such a good example of what I want our content to be.
Right.
Like what I feel like it could be if we put a lot of time and effort into making
Yeah.
a quality product that was written by some of the best writers in the world and all
Sure.
of that.
Sure.
There's a lot
Not
that we
Mike
need.
Drucker,
A
got
lot
it.
that we need for
We
that.
could probably scale back a little bit with our thought process and work from there.
But I feel like this episode that happened last night, the one about Supreme, is such a good gateway drug and entry point to understand his style and what he's doing in something that isn't super hard to understand because it's not like hardcore politics. It is just more of a like mainstream popular thing. So I highly recommend it. And the coolest thing that the show's doing, and the reason I want to bring all of this up, is for the first time ever, it's a show that debuts on YouTube and Netflix. They're kind of using the model that we use where it's like, hey,
Put it where the eyes are.
people will pay for Patreon. Like we want them to pay for Patreon and be there. But it's like really at the end of the day, we use it on YouTube as this advertising tool
Yeah.
where it's like, we're going to put it out there for free.
That's smart.
And it sounds super backwards, but it's like the Radiohead thing of like, hey, name your price, like get
Yeah.
what you want.
Well,
But why, like, isn't this crazy?
it's an
Nick?
interesting it's an interesting concept because the show itself, while it looks amazing, is probably not nearly as expensive to shoot as all their narrative content is concerned. So it's actually a really brilliant marketing plan. Because if you're getting people really, really addicted to it, like, yeah, they're going to come over to Netflix, and then, yeah, they're there. That's smart.
It's just insane. Like the channel's blowing up. Almost every episode has like 800,000 views on YouTube. And they come
He's
out
so
day and
fucking
date that they're coming out on Netflix.
Well, that's just a great strategy to get you used to it, right? Because yeah, people don't go to Netflix. I had not heard of the show. I wouldn't go to Netflix for current breaking news, right, or things that are topical. So yeah, to have it there and then have it that you can go home and watch it on Netflix, right? You start it, you like it, you're then you get in the rhythm of I'd like to watch this on the big screen, so you go there. And granted, I know you can watch YouTube on the big screen, but I think more people are inclined and used to turning on the TV and turning on Netflix for what they're going to watch.
Totally. I just think that everybody should give this one a shot. Even if it's YouTube, you don't need Netflix to watch this.
Yeah.
Just check out
Probably
Patriot
will
Act
have fucking
on
Netflix.
YouTube. You probably do
Yeah,
have
I have
Netflix,
Netflix,
whatever.
come on.
But
Just
what I
search
think
for
is
Nicki
cool
Minaj.
is this is somebody and a group of people that are trying to progress what Netflix can be and trying to actually break through and make weekly Netflix content work.
The interesting thing about this is you look at it and you're like, wow, it actually looks relatively like new. Whereas the Michelle Wolf special, I was kind of put off from because I was like,
What did it look like? Daily Show? Did
It looked
look
like Up at Noon. It looked kind of like
crap?
No.
It looked like shit.
It was-
Well, it looked
mean,
like
it
season
did.
one where I'm on like just a red background.
it just didn't look. It looked like it was Daily Show 1.0, where it was her
Okay.
at desk, right? If
Okay.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was her
with
at
like
desk.
with the thing over her shoulder and all that stuff. And I'm like, I know that. I'm sure if I had given it a shot, she's a lot smarter than that. It would have been. There would have
sure,
been more
yeah, yeah.
dimensions
Her
to it.
voice is very hard to get through. That's the biggest
her
problem.
voice never actually bothered me. Like
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Like
I
I've
watched
never
the
seen her
special.
ever say something for more than 5 minutes without having it reference like, I know my voice sucks.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it is
bad.
a
It's grating.
it is a great voice.
But she's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, she's
worth
really
pushing
good.
through. Her whole series on Netflix is great. It's over. Got canceled already.
The other series
There
I was
you
going
go.
to bring up
It's
that
Yeah.
what's that?
It's got an end. You can watch it in all one go.
The other series that was I wanted to be like what you're talking about, but kind of wasn't, was the Letterman series, where I thought, oh, here's a guy who's I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great because you've got David Letterman who has already had the career. He has nothing to lose anymore because he's got hundreds of millions of dollars. Everyone knows who he is. He's got this great Netflix special. He's got Obama on. Right, he's gonna go deep. Like this is gonna be a fucking. He's taking a task, right? Like let's get the real shit. He had like Jay-Z on. He had all these people, and it's such a surface level interview every single time that I'm like, what was the point of doing this show? Like, what did you want to get out of this other than just talk to these people who have already had careers and you've already had a career and that's pretty much it? Like, I don't know. I feel like Seinfeld got deeper with Obama than Letterman, but
in the coffee one.
Yeah, like he actually asked him harder questions. Like, oh fuck, he's getting a little crazy because Seinfeld didn't go fuck.
Sure,
he's a billionaire. He's doing shit. But yeah.
What was this guy's name again?
Hasan Minhaj.
Hasan, not Nicki Minaj.
Not Nicki Minaj. It's spelled very
Is he
differently.
related?
No.
Are they
No,
brother
not
and
at
sister?
all.
Are they dating?
Absolutely.
Are they married?
Not at all.
Have they met?
No.
You don't know if they've met or not. Don't act like that.
He may have met Nicki Minaj.
Come on.
I highly doubt it. But I will say,
possible.
for Greg, for you, it's a bigger commitment, but it's still just an hour. I recommend you and Jen watch Homecoming King.
Is it about Tom Holland?
It's not.
Yes,
No.
it is. No, yeah, it is.
Yeah. You have to wait
till the kicker. Wait till the kicker. You'll get to the end and it'll all link back up. What's the Homecoming King about?
Homecoming King is his stand-up special. It is like the thing that got him this. It is fantastic.
It's hard to call it a stand-up special because it's got a lot more dimensions than that. It's really like kind of a life story, and he uses multimedia. Like, and I hate to use the word multimedia because that makes it sound like you're in a fucking high school class.
Yeah.
But he uses all of his stage as a tool and as an extra character. So when he's talking about like his experiences in high school, you're seeing that images like pop up, and he's referencing those timing-wise. The whole thing is beautifully rehearsed and beautifully done. And he's all over this stage. Like, you see how good a performer is live. He knocked it out of the park. Like, when you go back and watch, I really liked Joe Rogan's last special, but it is comedy stand-up special 101. It is, I'm at a big theater, what's up? You're getting an hour, and that's it. And he really took it and really evolved it to the point where you're getting jokes, but you're also getting really fucking gut-wrenching stories of, like, this racism that he faced when he was in high school and all this horrible shit that he's gone through, and but he's also giving you commentary and like kind of showing you a way out of that. It's really well done. I liked it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not a chance. I'll watch him.
I know.
Sorry.
You should have fucking
Dude,
told him it was about
watch
Tom
it.
Holland. You should have told him it was a behind the scenes look at Far From Home. That's what it is.
Jen will love it. I feel like that's the easiest sell.
Why will Jen love it?
I don't want to say why.
Because it's about Tom Holland.
That doesn't sound like my wife.
It's about you know what? Actually, there's a good 45 minutes where he harps on the immigration process from Canada to America.
Okay.
So
See, there you go. Now you're getting there.
and there's actually some
She
behind the
can
scenes
commiserate
information that
is
can
he going
skip
to
the
give her
line.
more ammunition to be like, man, this is rough?
No.
Okay, because I don't need that anymore.
No,
I don't need
it's not that.
kind
It's
of
about
shit.
hope more than anything.
It really is. It's really beautifully done.
Okay.
It's kind of like a one act play about his life and growing up and like everything comes.
We had a
full
lot of
circle.
characters in my neighborhood, like the butcher.
Like
hey,
Grandma.
Ricky.
like Grandma and her pet raccoon.
Hey, Ricky. God, a pet raccoon would be great.
Fucking awesome, right?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
driving. Where the fuck was I? I was driving the other night, and it was dark, and I was coming home, and I was like, I'm so fucking tired. And I look over, and the fucking fattest raccoon I've ever seen in my life is just sauntering with his big bushy ass across the street. And I'm like, I could run you over right now. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. And just slowly continued to walk. And I was like, shout out to you, man. You don't give a shit.
Gia, obviously,
ass.
her biggest fear in the world: rodents, raccoons,
Right,
anything
right, yeah,
small
yeah,
and
yeah.
woodland and creature-like.
Yeah, she was scared of Portillo for a while, right?
Yeah, she's not like
we told
Portillo,
the
yeah.
story.
Okay, good.
They've made friends, and her and raccoons are. She's kind of coming around. Like she doesn't
Don't.
want to admit
No,
it.
they're bad. They're
but it's
dangerous.
Like, but it's like she knows they're fucking cute. Like she's like
They're cute.
Rocket, and it's so dumb that like this sounds like a joke. Rocket Raccoon, to her, when she first saw him, she was freaked the fuck out. She was like, I don't like this. And now she like loves him. And I'm like, he's your gateway drug into real raccoons.
Yeah.
We were driving home a couple nights ago
Yeah.
and we see a raccoon in the street. And you know it's a raccoon because they got the eyes and the lights and all that shit that goes on. And he fucking looks over and she does this thing. It was the most delayed fake ass reaction ever. And she like grabs me and goes, what is that? What is that? And I was like, you damn well know what that is. You saw what it was. You let it register, and now you're asking me what it is. It's just, is it a raccoon? Is it? I'm like, why are you turning into this like 8-year-old child?
Yeah.
Like that's wanting to touch a lobster and like I want to touch it. I don't want to touch it, but I do want to touch it. I don't want to touch it.
You know, you gotta have that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy where
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Where Batista.
That's Lost.
Or
Guardians
like
of the
where he's
Raccoon, what are we
holding,
talking
like
about?
he's Rocket's really sad. You gotta have this on loop for her whenever she sees one. So Rocket's really sad.
Where he
And
sits
that thing
down and
where he
pets his
starts
head.
petting him and he like lets it, and then he just like gives into it. That's what you have to have for Gia every time you see a raccoon, so she can associate positive stuff with the furry ass raccoon.
If we can go back to 2000, we'll say. All right?
We can. I'll
Year
join you on the journey.
2000.
In the year 2000.
Thank you very much, Nick. We are driving through the suburbs of Chicago. If you are aware of the Portillo's on North Avenue, we are south of that. Just a heads up just to put you in some kind of radius, all right? Adam is driving. I am shocking. We are going to some friend's house to watch
What's
a movie
Adam
or
look
whatever.
like? Give me a description.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Blonde hair like Tim.
Hate you.
Good build.
Fuck
He's
everyone.
athletic. You know what I mean? He was a lean gentleman.
Like-
Yeah, didn't do many
Did he
sports,
have-
but he had that body.
Did he have perfect piercing blue eyes like Cool Greg?
I don't think anybody has as good as eyes as Cool Greg
If
does.
there were an award, what was it? For
best eyes, best blue eyes in
Best
San
blue
Francisco.
eyes in San Francisco.
Surely Cool Greg would win that.
Yeah.
We're driving. We're
He
having a
hates it so
conversation.
much.
We're probably listening to some ska band or Newfound Glory or something
Real
along
Big
those
Fish.
lines. Maybe. And we're driving and we have this conversation and we're go, and this raccoon runs out into the street. To which Adam goes, "Oh fuck!" And at no point hits the brakes. Just keeps on going at a steady pace and I was like, it was just like this silence, and I was just like, you didn't even try. You didn't swerve. You didn't. Now, granted,
That's what you're supposed to do.
I know, right? Like, you know,
with
we
the raccoon.
This is the thing of we were all at the
supposed to do.
height of our like, oh my god, 2 and 10. Let's not fucking wreck mom and dad's car, right? But it was just he had such a robotic reaction of oh fuck, where his hands weren't connected to his brain in the
Right.
way of the emotions he was registering verbally versus what he was doing physically. Because it was, oh, fuck. And just like, I was like, holy shit. Like, I would have probably, jacked the car, flipped it, rolled. The raccoon comes in, bites us in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's how
Can't let it go to waste.
He did
Go
that.
away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might as well eat you.
We're still alive. Raccoon, stop.
I was driving back from Tahoe and I saw not one but 2 dead deer on the
get
side
you.
of the
I'll
road,
get
but
you.
like not in a rural area where you're like, oh, you would expect maybe to see that when you're in the actual like mountain.
Sure, yeah.
But this was like Sacramento. Mm-hmm. Like this is where the fuck did these deers come from?
Dude, I had a really weird dream last week about dead deer. It was a zombie apocalypse
Yeah, I like where this is
situation,
going
but
now,
it
okay.
wasn't a zombie apocalypse situation until the deer.
They rose
showed
first?
up.
They rose
They were
first?
the first ones.
It
It
was
was
zombie
these
deer.
fucking
You
dead
don't
deer.
hear about that often.
It might have been the ones you're talking
It's
about.
possible. It's weird to see something that big dead on the side of the road.
Well, because deers have the stupid necks.
Yeah.
So
There was
Oh, wait,
something-
whoa. They have a
Really-
stupid X. What does that mean? You just
So
did like
dumb.
this like noodly thing.
They
got
them
thick ass
they got-
necks,
I
man.
know, but like, but it's like
long.
they're long though. Like there was something we were looking at recently. I don't know what it
Fucked up
was,
horse.
but like there was a giraffe involved getting dragged from the head.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was quite the sight to see.
It was, yeah.
and I think
Maybe
that
you'll see it at the
that
Kinda Funny
influenced
Game
my dream.
Showcase.
That influenced my dream for sure because
Sure.
in my dream these zombie deer definitely had longer necks than a
So were
normal
they
deer.
dragging their own necks?
They were like giraffe deers.
but they
they
were
were
dead and they were
zombies.
dragging their neck. Am
No,
I
I think
understanding?
that-
this?
what he's saying
no,
is-
you're right. That's what was happening.
Thank you.
When you see,
I was
When you
right.
watch Tommy Boy,
Yeah, I remember
the
this
seminal
movie.
film
Of
starring
course,
Chris
how can I
Farley
forget it?
and not Adam
David
Sandler.
Spade.
Thank you. And they hit the deer.
Dan Aykroyd.
What he's saying is, the necks
Brian-
flop a lot.
Yeah.
Brian Cox? No,
Yeah,
Brian.
that sounds right. Brian
Dennehy.
Cox. Brian Dennehy. That is right now.
That's what he's saying. Is when they
Okay.
get hit, they go and the neck's the
Rob
first thing
Lowe.
to break.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Forget the actress's name that played that.
Yeah, me too. She was somebody who
Bo
was
Derek.
famous. Yeah, there
Bo
it is. I was
Derek.
gonna say
There
she
it
was
is.
somebody famous from back in the day
Yeah.
that they got her to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the movies, man. That's how we.
I
That's
miss
what
them.
we grew up on. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Now those kind of movies come out, they're direct to Netflix, and we just make fun of them. We don't
Yeah,
even watch
they're all.
them.
Well, I mean, Adam Sandler still makes those
I
movies.
know,
They're
right?
just not
Yeah,
good.
yeah. What's this new? The new one he's got with Chris Rock. People liked. I thought.
100% fresh. Is that? Oh no,
People
that's
liked. I don't know about that.
no. Yeah,
I heard it wasn't as bad as his other movies. How about that?
That's
you fine with
fair.
that?
It
Okay.
looks like it was made with an iPhone. Let's put it that way.
Doesn't everything now? Doesn't
It's
everything
fair.
look like that now?
Yeah, it's true.
Speaking of being made with an iPhone, thank you to Patreon producer DJ Kento.
DJ Kento, first person yesterday to tweet at me and be like, yo, I know you love Patriot Act. You need to watch this new one. It's all about your shit.
Yeah.
And then immediately I was like, Gia, we're doing this.
I do.
right now.
Like, I want to watch this, but I
got it.
also want to hear your opinion on Supreme.
I mean, I'm too old for it.
Yeah, you are.
If I was.
What is it other than a red band
you
with
need-
white letters
dude,
in it?
Okay, fine. If you're not going to watch Homecoming King,
Thank you.
watch this episode. 20 minutes. Dude,
I wish I could
What
pencil
do you
it
think?
in.
Let me stop. I'll ask
Sure,
your lawyer.
lay it
I'll
on
answer
me,
for
lay it
you.
on me.
I'm sorry. I'm currently trying to platinum Assassin. No.
Yeah, that's right.
There's DLC coming for Spider-Man.
That's also
that
correct,
you have to
yeah.
work on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no time. Similar to how we just don't have time.
I wish I had time to
just don't have
watch
time.
whatever you guys. Now here's the
Now
thing.
the crazy thing is there's 2 TVs in his living room, but he doesn't have time to put
in a year. In 2
Hasan Minhaj
years,
is
guess
singing
what?
the other one.
We're gonna be on some fucking stupid Josh McCouga show, and it's gonna come down to the wire for one question. It's
Supreme.
gonna be about Patriot
Bah.
versus fucking Supremes, and I'll be screwed because
Yeah.
I didn't follow your advice. But you know what? I roll those dice. I roll them bones, as the kids say. All right?
I don't trust those kids, man.
I don't
Oh,
either.
fuck
I
those
don't
kids.
either. Yeah, exactly.
I will watch that tonight.
Thank you.
I'm fascinated by this.
Thank you.
I've
It's
been
fascinating.
promising you that I'd watch this since you recommended it since the first episode. I see it. It's on my queue. And I'm
I
excited.
appreciate
I'm jacked
that
about
you
it.
saw his shoes, and within 3 seconds, you knew they are the shoes that I often wear.
Yes. Well, I'm good at noticing patterns. It was also a shot in the dark. I was like, oh, those are the ones you wear. You're like, nope, but close. Very
They are
close.
close. They are
Oh,
close.
they weren't the ones. You threw them up.
They
I was
were.
confused
So
that they were the same.
They were the black version
go.
of the ones that he had.
Here we go. If
These
you're
are
an
the
audio listener, Tim's
black
taking
cement
off his
threes.
shoe.
The
It is
cement
black
comes
with
from
some
this
gray.
pattern. Can I get the one?
Get the. Oh, you
Kevin
put
won
it
him.
over your drink. You're gonna get poop particles in there.
It's fine.
There's already poop.
So this is the cement, right?
Yeah, I
He
see
was
it.
wearing white cement.
Pull it back
threes.
towards your face
So
a
they're
little more. Get
white.
the focus.
What?
I said pull it back towards your face more. Get the focus. There you go. Thank you.
Man, I wish I were tall. I'd wear Jordans.
What? You can wear them.
I can't because I feel like they're just going to make me look wider.
StockX.com didn't sponsor this episode, but gets referenced in the episode
Really?
of Patriot Act.
You know why? It's because
got
that's
really
all that
excited.
shit sold. Probably, right? And you can see the market. But they probably went to that and downloaded all the market data for like the last year to get the trends of like how many people are buying at what levels. It's ridiculous.
It's a lot.
Like it's to the point where like I'm willing to bet like shit like Supreme's like a commodity, like trade like a stock.
It's
weird.
Dude, watch this episode. Greg Miller,
Yeah.
what's your topic?
You've already ruined it.
Are you wearing
Did
leggings?
I didn't mean to
Why?
ruin your
Let's
moment.
talk about doggy dog.
What?
Doggy dog.
What? Oh, get in there. Yeah,
Come
get
on,
on
let's
up in
talk,
there.
come on, Mookie. Mookie, let's talk about wrestling.
I love it when you get this smile.
I
You-
love
you
it
smile
when
with your eyes.
Cool
You're
Greg-
smiling with your eyes
I
right
know.
now.
I,
Yeah.
I want to hear about your wrestling thing.
Things
your
will
adventure.
happen every once in a while.
Yeah.
Where Cool Greg just looks over and I see him trying to figure out how he wants to feel about what's going on. He's like, I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Do I like it?
Well,
like that's the whole
You know,
trade.
to be fair, and to again to come to Cool Greg's defense,
About time somebody
it's not really socially acceptable to reach into your coworker's pant leg
And say,
and rub his
"Mookie."
leg while you're saying, "Come on, Mookie."
Now, my socks have
You're
fallen
begging
down.
for it again, baby.
I know. That's why I put it up
Yeah,
there. I
don't
was
do
ready
it.
for it
Don't
again.
do it.
I didn't do it.
Greg Miller.
Hey, Tim Gettys.
We don't have any actual ad sponsor today. So today we are sponsored by kindoffunny.com/store.
That's us, everybody. We have a new shirt.
We
It's
do.
the Glitch Please Kind of Funny shirt. You can see it right there. There's another new shirt up, too. It's the Kind of Funny side print tee.
We didn't get that one in yet, though. So you're going to have to go to kindoffunny.com/store to see it. I can't wait to have that on me. It has the nice new Andy logo that he made on the side. Andy.
Yeah.
Go check it out. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. That shirt, don't think it's still there
Team Fat,
anymore.
they took down.
This
And you
shirt,
might be like, oh, man, I was
definitely
ready to
still
buy
there.
that. You should have bought it earlier.
Should have bought it
Sure,
earlier.
so we can't leave everything up there all the time, guys. You got to
You
buy it.
just
Glitch Please up there now. Side print up there. Party mode up there. This one, not. It's dead to us.
Dead.
Maybe it'll be back one day. Kevin, go to kindoffunny.com/store and order me a shirt. Yeah, speaking of Jordans,
Yeah.
Gregway, Shane
What the fuck?
McMahon wore them last
Oh,
night
sure
at
he
WWE
did.
Survivor Series where I was.
What were
I've been
they?
holding it all. I don't fucking know.
What
They
were
were
they, Cool Greg?
Jordans.
I didn't see. He usually wears ones.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a ones guy.
They were just fucking Jordan. They were brand new, I know, because he was on his back a lot.
Fresh stock.
He was on the ground a lot, and so I got to look at him right in front of me. So I got to see his feet a lot, and I was like, oh man, those are brand new shoes for sure. These aren't. He's not just walking in with like shoes off the street. You know what I mean?
I feel like it was.
He didn't like walk. You understand what I mean? He didn't walk in from the street in the same shoes, walk into the ring.
I was listening to a podcast
Yeah.
where they're talking about Eddie Griffin and how one of his writers, anywhere he goes, that he needs to have like 5 pairs of brand new sneakers.
Sure.
Everywhere, anytime
Eddie
he goes
Griffin.
to any club. Eddie Griffin.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the guy was like, Booty Tang, that guy.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know who Eddie Griffin is, and I feel like as your star goes down a bit, that's when they got to be like, all right, fuck off with the shoes.
I know,
Just
I
come
know.
do the comedy.
But
Eddie.
like, imagine that, Tim, if every time we could put that in a rider next time someone flies us to like a PAX.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll take the same amount of money as last year, but you also have to have Jordan Rocky shoes. What are they called?
They'll be like, no, we'll go with what's
Cement
your game.
shoes.
See you later.
Cement
Cements.
threes.
I
Yeah.
need 3 pairs of cement threes in 11s. What do you wear?
Size 11.
Size
Yeah,
11.
Yeah.
And then you pick the best one, take the other 2, throw them out the window.
Throw them out the
Wow.
fucking window.
Fucking care.
Cool,
Wow.
Greg. What's the show? I want to say that it's on Complex. That they bring people sneaker shopping. Fucking awesome show.
Okay.
They just take celebrities, bring them into this sneaker shop
I wanna
in
do that
New
so
York,
bad.
and they get to buy whatever the fuck they want. They got Eminem before.
that's
They
so
got
bad.
Shane McMahon, and it's like
Did they really?
They did.
Oh, I'll watch that,
he-
sure.
It's awesome. He proves his shit. Like it's like, oh, you're in this shit. It's tough.
Like he knows enough about the sneakers that you would be like, oh, you picked the right pair.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like I
All
would
of
not
his
do that because I'd be
Shane
like,
O'Mac no style.
I would
Shane
walk
O'Mac no
into that
style.
store and be like, Tim and Cool Greg are judging me. They're judging me right now.
Sure, of course.
I can't.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
just
fucking-
happening all the time, though.
Yeah.
Cool Greg's definitely judging you all the time.
I know, but I always fail Cool Greg because I don't wear any of the cool shit that I'm supposed to be wearing.
You're wearing kind of funny stuff right now. He loves that.
Gang and
Death
shit.
Eater stuff too. I fuck with that.
What's that?
The Death Eater shirt you wear?
I do. I like that one. It fits me well. I appreciate that.
Nick,
Yes.
I went to WWE Survivor Series yesterday.
I am very seldom jealous of any of your
Escapades. Sexual
Mostly because I'm like, okay, he's gonna come back and tell me about that, and I can
Sure.
live vicariously through him
Yeah.
in that regard. But this looked like a blast,
Right.
And it's such an interesting, like you were so close to the action.
Correct.
You've got the shots of like being able to, being able to go and cheer on Xavier would have been super fun. Like
Well,
awesome-
I
awesome would have
booed
been so
him and
fun.
yelled at him a
Of
lot, but
course.
yeah.
But only because he keeps screwing you over with this
Right.
whole
A lot of Johnny Ace
championship
references,
stuff.
I said, yeah.
It's it's the way it is.
Sure.
He's a big supporter of Johnny Ace. John loves him.
Yeah, I know.
So next time you see him,
he
tell
John
him
his
says
paper
hi.
champ, which sucks.
John's in he's in Barcelona right now.
say it again.
He's in Barcelona. He makes me say it like that. I don't know why.
He makes you say
He
that.
says
Wow.
Nick, say it the right way because you don't want to disrespect the
Wow,
Spaniard.
wow.
Yeah.
A lot of layers to that one to unpack. All right. Yeah. No, where do you want to start, Nick Scarpino? Because this is the thing. You came in this morning, you wanted all my stories, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to give you anything
Well,
because
I
I
wa-
wanted to have a podcast about it. And so here we are, 25 minutes in. I'm sure the YouTube comments have been great about that. What do you want to know?
You keep acting like people have never seen this show before, and they
I'm
don't know
just
that
saying,
it's
you
pure
know what?
shit.
We had a chance right now to capitalize on WWE fans, and we're blowing it.
No, it's fine. They're fine. Come on. What I want to know is like, what this was your first time sitting basically ringside, right?
I was ringside.
How
yes.
was that experience for
It was
you?
amazing.
Yeah?
This was like I've been talking about it. It's hard to put into words. Like being growing up a WWE fan, right? Like being so into it in high school and into college, and when we were living in Illinois or in high school, and it was the Attitude Era. No matter what show came to the Allstate Arena, when I was growing up, Rosemont Horizon, we were there. You know what I mean? And we came in costumes and we did all the fucking crazy shit. But we were always the kids, right? I mean, we were just high school kids, so we were always nosebleed. And it was like at the start of tickets online, so we didn't know how to get good seats.
Right.
And you couldn't do it. And
I couldn't afford them
I would
anyway.
drive out, and like one time I camped out outside of the Rosemont, not camped out, but got there super early and like still had shitty seats or whatever, basically on what you could afford or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's always been that dream. Like this goes as far back for me as 1994. It's WWF at the time, SummerSlam. It's going to open the United Center, the first actual televised event from the United Center. And I remember getting the brochure because we had to send away for it. We got it. Mom and dad are down. We're gonna do it. We opt for the package, and like we went. I think we went for like 2 sections, or in terms of like gold, platinum, all that kind of stuff. 2 packages back from what would be like the ringside area or whatever.
So still good seats.
Exactly. So it was like the floor seats, and then they started some risers they put in on this floor, and we were there. And so it was such a big deal of, we were gonna go. My dad was working downtown. My mom and I, they got a limo. It was the first time I was ever in a limo, right?
What the fuck?
Did they-
It was the thing of, this is before Uber, obviously, right? And like cabs still aren't like bookable like that. So it was like, well, we'll send mom and the kid down that way. Then dad's just gonna be in the car already because from the construction site, we'll get in that and drive home that way. That make sense to you?
No, I'm not getting a limo.
Yeah.
Dad had to meet him there. Why take 2 cars there? So they booked a limo one way.
No
to get there.
no Uber back then. This is a long time ago.
I understand,
1994.
but a limo. The only time I've ever used a limo was for like
Prom.
junior prom. Or
Sure.
prom.
That's great.
When there was like 13 people in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it was
So
just,
dial it back though. Now it's the first. I mean, up until this point, I've been going to house shows, which you don't even know what a house show is as a kid. You just know it's not on TV. And Undertaker clearly just beat Yokozuna. Why is he not the champion? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll never forget it. It was a non-title match. He fucking beats Yokozuna, and he picks up the belt and looks at it, and then just tosses it in the ring and walks away. I was like, damn, Undertaker, you fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, but he understood it wasn't about the belt. It was about the pride, and that's what he was doing day in, night out. So, here's the thing, right? And I'm not saying my parents, not like penny pitchers, right? But we were on like a budget, and I was a kid, and like, so this is like a huge deal that we're going to downtown Chicago, which is probably one of my first times. We're opening the United Center. We're gonna meet Dad there. So I think it was just the added thing of like, well, we'll spend the extra $20 that would have been from a cab to a limo and do that or whatever, or a town car. You know what I mean?
Was it a town car?
No, it was a full blown limo.
Did it have?
I had a whole like collage I made and put up on my wall of like photos and stuff and ticket stubs and napkins.
Did it have one of those cool glass bars?
You're goddamn right it did.
And did they let
you think
you
Jamie
have some of
Kennedy
that
ain't
stuff?
rocking that thing?
Did Jimmy Kennedy hit that
I
thing?
don't think she did. I don't think my mother alone drinking in the back of a limo. Where they're like, whatever, I was 94, I would have been 11-year-old son would have been.
Yeah.
But it was a huge deal to do this, right?
Yeah, no,
so
it
we
sounds
went
cool.
down there, we got there, and I'll never ever forget being there. It's the first pay-per-view. They've got it on the big screen. And like, see, I've told this story before of like, you know, during the pre-show, like Macho Man walked by us because he was like doing like, oh, we're going live and whatever, blah, blah. And like he had you remember how Macho Man had the tassels on his thing?
Yeah.
He walked by and I reached out and grabbed the tassels and I was like, I'm gonna rip one off and have it as like a souvenir or whatever. And like literally Macho Man had to stop playing his feet and like yank it from me because they were like leather. They're not gonna rip off, right? And I'm just some dumb kid trying to get out of it. But like I have photos of
Not
me.
much has changed.
I wouldn't do that anymore. I have photos of me running up to ringside because it was a little bit looser back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting to the metal bars and like taking photos. And I have like photos of it. It was a Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in a cage match. I have them coming over. It was the classic Tatanka versus Lex Luger where Tatanka had it all wrong. The $1 Million Man made it look like he was paying off Lex Luger. And everybody's like, oh man, he sold out. He's not American anymore. And Tatanka kept, like, it was always like, $1 Million Man would throw a bag of money at Luger and he'd grab it, and then Tatanka would like come around the corner and be like, "Why you have the money?" He's like, "I don't really have the money. Watch the video." And Tatanka's like, "I don't watch video. I don't know why." It would seem like this would have been very easy to explain. Doesn't matter. But then Tatanka, it turned out, was on the $1 Million Man's payroll. Huge deal. So I have photos of Lex Luger on the ring apron, like money stuffed in his mouth. And I have Vince McMahon photos.
Do we have these photos?
Oh yeah, we got these photos. You kidding me?
We
You think I would
gotta-
let go of possessions like this?
We got to see these photos at some point.
I have like photos of Vince McMahon when I was still just a dumb kid, like most people were, and just thought he was an announcer. Didn't understand he like ran the entire company because like he wasn't bragging about that at the time. Wasn't until the Montreal Screwjob, of course, that really becomes the thing.
That's it. All comes back.
Anyways,
to the Montreal
I
Screwjob.
remember being there,
true.
right, and
Yeah.
being like, I want to sit here one day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I want to be, and like it evolved from the metal like basically bike racks, barricades to that big black one with the padded top. It's
Yeah.
like, I want to fucking touch that and be
Hell
a part of that.
yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? And so we've gotten close before. When we went to Raw last time around here, we were down there. Cool, Greg. Remember this? When we went down to San Jose for Raw, we weren't that far off of the main. We weren't far off of the wall, but we weren't touching the wall. Yeah. And then when you guys went to SmackDown the next night, you were the wall, right?
Real close, like 3 rows back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I've been in spitting distance. We've done the THQ trips before. Where I did SummerSlam in LA, and I remember being really close. That's where I have photos with Nancy O'Dell.
Yeah,
Of course.
naturally.
You remember
Yeah,
her?
I went to WrestleMania 28, and I was pretty close, but like nowhere near first row.
Right.
I would say I was like 12 rows back,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Sure.
But it's still far enough. You're like, well, I'm not first row.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? And it's like such a dream to get there, and I was always worried about like if it was ever gonna happen, I'd be still not there. You know what I mean? Like like on the aisleway, which is cool, obviously for kids. All the entrances, somebody brawls back there, but it's not there. You want to be there where they're slamming into the wall and they're doing all this stuff. So
You
basically,
might get some sweat on you.
I want to get a lot of sweat on me. Let me tell you, I did.
Did
Let
you?
me tell you, I did. A lot of people hugging the wall last night. I digress. The cheat code to this is no Jeremy Dunham.
Yeah.
12 years ago, Jeremy Dunham hired me at IGN, right? And at which point he was like, "Do you like wrestling games?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like wrestling games." He's like, "Good. I'm sick of covering all the wrestling games. You're in charge of wrestling games." And I'm like, "Yeah." Did that. Lifelong friends with Dunham from there on out. You know what I mean? Jeremy Dunham eventually leaves IGN, writes a game called Unit 13, works with the SOCOM guys at Zipper, bounces around,
RIP.
ends up, thank you very much, ends up at a company called Psyonix. Makes a game called Rocket League. Of course, Jeremy's been on our shows here at Kind of Funny quite a bit. Yeah, many a time. And so he got there before Rocket League was a thing. He got there when it was like, hey, you and Colin should come see my game at E3. And we're like, all right, what is it? And he's like, oh, your cars and you play
You're
soccer.
like a remote control car, and
Sounds
it's playing
weird.
soccer.
Yeah,
and I remember talking about it, being like,
well, I remember it was,
all right, we'll do
Colin
it,
went
I
and saw it as a
guess.
favor, and then he came back and was like, dude, this is really good. You need to go see it. And I went and saw it. I was like, yeah, man, this is really good. And we brought him in for that Twitch stream in the spare bedroom, and it was him and Doug Perry, another old IGN editor, right? You spill yourself a little bit? A little too much vodka?
a little
there?
splashy splash.
Cannonball.
It was a cannonball.
And so, then Rocket League came out, exploded, got crazy, all this stuff. And Dunham was able to take everything he loved and then turn it into business. And that's what he does. And so, like, I don't know if you've noticed in any, way, shape, or form. I'm sure Cool Greg has, like, Rocket League in the past couple of years has sponsored WWE pay-per-views. Like, last night, Survivor Series was brought to you by Mattel, but it's been brought to you by Rocket League, right?
That's
so
great.
he knows all those people. And he's always like, oh, man, if you ever want to do something, we should do something and go to a show. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but
so
it's always
fun.
so hard to coordinate where it's going to be, what's our schedule. We're always on the run. He's got a family. It's all these things. And so it just finally lined up that, like, he hit me up months ago and was like, hey, Survivor Series is in LA. Like, do you want to come down with Jen? And I'll come with my wife and we'll just do a double date thing. And I was like, yes, I do. That sounds awesome. And it wasn't even based on the fact that he could get baller seats, obviously. I didn't even know that at the time. I don't know how hard that is to come by.
Fucking happened.
But-
first row. When you posted that picture of your goddamn thumb,
Yeah.
I looked at it. I'm just like,
Well, I mean, that was so like, let's dial it back even further. Because it is that, like, we're trying to figure out, like, we come to LA. Jen and I came down on Saturday. We went out with Scott and Cindy. We hung out with them for a little bit. We stayed at the Lux Hotel, across the street there. Let me tell you, you know this one? Across the street from Staples Center.
You know it. It's right across from Staples.
Right,
Center.
I'm taking you to that PlayStation.
PlayStation party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. This hotel sucks.
Oh yeah.
I was totally
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I usually like staying at the JW Marriott, and I was like, you know what? Not gonna do it.
You have a phone call.
Hello?
Greg, it's Nick. I have to go to the bathroom. But I want to hear the rest of the story.
Okay, sure, no problem. I'll put you on speakerphone so you don't forget.
Mute
Now,
your mic.
are you? Yeah, you just mute your mic.
What? I don't know how to do it.
Well, it's just I don't want to hold it up to a microphone the entire time while I tell a story.
No, that's fine. I just want to hear you. I'll mute my mic now.
All right, bye. So yeah, I like the JW, right? I'm a big fan of the JW. Why, you may ask? Because it's the E3 dream. We got to do the war room there once for IGN, and I was like, this is great. Of course, IGN couldn't afford to put everybody up there. Like, this sucks. So like the dream of staying at the JW and being able to wake up and like walk in 4 seconds to the convention center, amazing. So I like that hotel when I can stay there. The problem is, this is the problem, Tim. I was flying in on Saturday, staying the night, flying in on Sunday, and then there was, do we leave Sunday night? Do we try to make a late flight? Do we do this thing? And it was like, no. Late flight's going to be too stressful. This is supposed to be a fun vacation. We're not going to do that. Instead, we'll leave Monday morning. So then you get into this thing of where you start doing the numbers of like, cool, am I going to pay $250 or whatever it was for the JW, like, and leave at 4 a.m? Like, that doesn't work, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I started trading back. I started doing the thing of like, what if we stayed at the JW, checked out Sunday, left the bags there, went to the airport hotel, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, it was like, that sucks too. Too much stressful. So I was like, okay, you know what? I already forgot the name of the place I was talking about.
I didn't expect the story to go here, but I'm happy.
Well, this is why I said it's a whole show.
Okay.
There's no you didn't need another fucking shitty topic about a stand-up Netflix I'm not going to watch.
I'm sorry. You should watch it.
Lux.
It should have been 5 minutes. It's your fault.
No, it isn't. It's Nick. See all these questions.
You know what? It is Nick's
I hate
fault.
Nick.
It's all.
So anyways, yeah, and they were loud and they were playing music and the luck sucked, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. Should have said the JW. Should have gone. Oh my God. Should just pay the extra money. Been fine. Whatever. Okay. So meet up with Dunham on Sunday, and I'm already skipping a lot of stuff here because I found this amazing fried chicken, these amazing wings. You want me to get to the point? You want me to get to the point faster? You know what I mean? You know, that's what you want.
I want to get to the wrestling.
So Dunham had to go to like, hey, I got to go to this WWE brunch, right? Like do businessy stuff. And I'm like, cool, no problem. We'll meet up at 1 o'clock. That's what we decide. Great. He texts me leading into, I'm like, hey man, it's getting close to 1. Where do you want to meet? He's like, hey, we're going to meet at the Oscar De La Hoya statue outside of Staples Center. I'm like, I know the statues are great. I think I know who Oscar De La Hoya is. Perfect. And he's like, hey,
Process of elimination.
I can get
for
you
me.
into this WWE party though beforehand. And I was like, now we're talking. So we get there. We're waiting around for a little bit. There's lines everywhere. People just waiting to get in because they're not letting anybody in. Dunham shows up. We walk over there. He's got this is how you know Jeremy Dunham baller status. He's got just a WWE guy named Keith with him. He's like, it's Keith. He's like hanging out with us. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. So yeah, exactly. Keith brings us in. We get wristbands. We're taken up to this like swanky lounge or whatever that overlooks, all of LA Live and stuff. And I sit down and I'm like, this is cool. And Dunham's like, hey, I'm sorry, I do have to do a little bit of business. So I got to go have a meeting for like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, no problem. It's me, it's Jen, it's wife. We're like, fine. So we're sitting there and before he even goes in, everybody's talking. then who walks in? This guy named Brian. You don't know Brian, but you know Brian.
I know Brian.
WWE Brian, who's the guy who always helps us when we need Xavier Woods on.
Why
something.
did Xavier Woods host Kind of Funny Life 3?
Brian.
Well,
made it happen.
Xavier wanted to.
Well, sure, yeah, that's true. But who made it happen?
Brian let him.
Let me put it this way: Xavier Woods, as you know, is a crooked commissioner and can't lace his own boots without Brian. All right? He's got nothing going on upstairs. We've said right, Cool Greg. You've talked to him. You know Xavier Woods. Oh, his mic's not dead, but Cool Greg's saying yeah, he agrees. Brian walks in. We're talking to Brian. That's great. Kirsten Slater walks in. I was up here like in this like lounge, just like VIP area. I'm like, I'm not gonna know anybody. It's like, Kirsten, and I'm like, yeah, Kirsten, what's up? We talked to her for a while.
Old IGN friend.
Exactly, yeah. Then guess what? I'm sitting there, I'm talking at the table for a little bit. All of a sudden, Christine Steiner walks over to me and says, "You're not supposed to be. I don't think you're supposed to be here, sir. It's her. It's Jackie Collins." I'm like, "Oh my god, everyone's here!" Like it was this cool.
Everyone's here. It's like Smash Brothers.
Exactly, it is exactly, and that the new challenger keeps approaching.
Here. Solid Snake.
So I'm sitting there and I'm catching up with everything. Of course, the food's free, the drinks are free. I'm hanging out, having a good time.
Of course.
You know what I mean? People are talking to me.
Of course.
This is the VIP experience today. You know what I
dude.
mean?
I get
and
it.
so eventually, though, I do this. And this is where I think Cool Greg starts to come into the picture of like pointing out to you and the audience, if you have no idea, that these are not normal times. So I'm sitting there, of course, and then a couple wrestlers are coming up. They're making the rounds because it's like a salesy thing that I've been a part of or whatever. Samoa Joe walks through. I know Samoa Joe already. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't bug him because he's doing his thing. I've met him. I've known him since TNA days or whatever. Other wrestlers are coming through. Great. Some stop at the table. We're talking to them. That's great. Eventually, I'm like, I have to pee. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Bounce out. Walk. Take 2 steps to the bathroom. Stephanie McMahon is holding like a meet and greet, but blocking the bathroom. Where I'm like, first off, I'm like, I gotta pee. Second off, I can't interrupt this. And thirdly, that's Stephanie McMahon, and I'm losing my shit. Because that's Stephanie fucking McMahon. Yeah. Are you kidding me right now?
Stephanie fucking McMahon. Let's go, baby.
Goddamn McMahon tied to the Undertaker's symbol. Stone Cold saved her. Then she married Triple H when she was supposed to marry Testa. Are you kidding me? It was insane.
Crazy, man.
So I came back.
Is deep.
Didn't she actually marry Triple H in real life?
Yeah, they did. They did actually fall in love.
That was probably smart for them to just like make that a storyline.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is before. I digress. Sit down.
I'm gonna skip the meet and greet.
I sit back down. Well, I sit back down. I tell them that this is happening. I tell them that it's there.
Want to call it?
And I'm like, that's Stephanie McMahon over there. I can't pee, but I gotta wait. Yeah. I gotta just do this. And like, I totally understand. And it was that thing of Greg Miller not one to take photos, not one to bug people.
You're a professional.
Exactly.
And when you come at people, you want to come at them at a professional level.
I think that's a big part of it. You know what I mean? So, but I had that thing of like
you're like, look,
if
you
the
have
line gets
1.3
short
million
enough-
followers. I have 1.3 million followers.
She's like, I have a lot more than 1.3 million. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Numbers don't matter, Steph.
Once you
We're
get
both
over a million,
verified.
Nobody cares. Somebody cares over a million.
Exactly.
Some people say once you hit 75,000, you're a celebrity. You can just call yourself a celebrity. It's
exactly. That's what they do say. That's what they do say.
Yeah.
So I have that moment of like, maybe I'll go get a photo with her. Maybe I won't. I'll see how the line does, blah, blah. Somebody else came over that I knew, got distracted, talked to them, turned around, she's gone. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That solved it.
Smart.
God stepped in. That's what I like.
Destiny.
I like, exactly. You know what I mean? Fate, kismet. You know what I mean? So then Keith, WWE guy, comes over. He's like, all right, I'm gonna take you guys down. Before then, do you want to go backstage? And we're like, yes, we do want to go backstage. You know what I mean? Yes, we do. But then I'm having the conversation of like, well, we're also getting close to the start. And as you know, Xavier Woods, Crooked Commish, relegated to the pre-show.
Best man I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Better than all of us.
No. So there was this thing of how much time can we spend backstage when indeed we have to get out there to see. I gotta see Xavier. I gotta see Austin Creed. I gotta know what's going on. We come down.
Wait, he only did the pre-show, or did the pre-show and other stuff?
He was they opened the show.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they when like the first match it was them.
Oh, cool.
So we came down in the elevator, came through the backstage area. So already I'm backstage. They're working, they're doing makeup, people are walking around rehearsing what they're gonna say or whatever. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Blah blah blah. Turn a corner. Fucking Triple H. As close as Cool Greg is to me right now, Triple H is right there. And I'm like, that's fucking Triple H. That is, and he's like in business mode. I'm not going to fucking, go over and say something. I'm not stupid.
You're backstage,
but it's
baby.
like, holy shit, I'm backstage. I got to act cool. This is happening. Yeah. And then it was like, well, come on. We'll take a peek at the stage. It was what I was going to do. So we came out on, if you're, walking down the rampway, we came out on the left side of it. Like it's all built out and we came around. And just as we get there, the New Day song kicks on. And so they start throwing their pancakes and walking down. Like we're walking with them. This is up on my Instagram TV now. I took all my stories and just put them up on Instagram TV. Yeah. But like we're walking and then it was like, okay, well, let's go to your seats because you want to see this or whatever. Obviously. I'm like, yeah, obviously. I got to see the Crooked Commish, Xavier Woods, get out there and do some stuff. You know what I mean? So we go and we're like, Keith's walking us through and he's like, security's trying to stop us. And he's like there with us. And we go. And we go all the way around the arena on the floor and then up into the front row of our seats. And to get there and sit down and be able to touch the black pad and be
Hell
like,
yeah, dude.
I know everything that's about to happen. And that was like, this is the one thing I'm leaving out that's a crucial detail to framing the entire night. At this point, the love of my life, Genevieve St. Ange has never been to a professional wrestling event.
Oh yeah.
She's seen heel kicks. She's watched wrestling with me. We watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30. We watched
yeah.
the Kurt Angle
30 for 30.
documentary. Like, she gets wrestling. She knows how much goes into it, but has never been to a production of it. And so, literally, people would ask her. We'd be talking about it. She's like, I don't know what to expect. And I'm like, you are gonna have the best time of your life, and it's going to be such a skewed perspective. You know what I mean? Like, you figure I'm gonna be conservative and say I've been to, and I'm talking ECW, WWE, APW,
Sure.
everything. I've been to conservatively 30 to 35 live wrestling events, right? And I fucking worked my way up, all right, as a fan,
yeah.
from the gymnasium to the fucking nosebleeds to going to skyboxes for THQ and all that stuff, right? And I'm like, you are about to be skewed so hard, but you are going to be so enveloped in this. Like, you are gonna, and she's like, oh, I hope so. You know, it's cool. I don't know how I'll feel about it. We'll get to all that later, of course. But we're sitting there and it's front row and I'm touching it. And it's as cushiony and padded as you thought it would be, right? And as of course we're doing this, New Day's in the ring cutting their promo, and it's Xavier on the mic. And so if you're not a WWE fan, if you haven't watched any of the stories or seen any of my Instagram stuff, they shoot the cameras from one direction. So like the cameras, there's the main like wide shot, right? What we like how we use our one camera. If you're looking at the GameOverGreggy show, right? Like I'm sitting with my back to the camera, so the cameras are behind me shooting out. And so if you see images of the wide shot ever, I first off, as soon as we got there, like you said, I tweeted the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because like I had been like, how do I break to the world? You know what I mean? How do I break it to Kyle Stevenson, all the other kind of funny wrestling best friends out there that I'm not only at Survivor Series, that I'm front row. And I thought about tweeting it ahead of time. I was like, no, I need the image. And so I did the image, and it was, hey, best friends, this is a big moment for me, right? Like, send screen caps of everything when you see me. Because that was the thing of even back in the day when we would go to Raw or whatever, of rush in SummerSlam, rushing home, right, to rewind the VHS tape
Can
and
you
look.
see yourself?
Like, when
Is
Taz,
sign guy there?
when Taz pushed me at a fucking Monday Night Raw during a hardcore match, you're goddamn right. I went in slow mode to get that one thing of fucking Taz pushing. Anyways, so I did that, and obviously so many kind of funny best friends were amazing in the beginning of just tweeting out like, holy shit, you're underneath the hat, like, you're underneath the WWE watermark. Like the watermark was on the back of my head with Dunham next to me and his wife there, and then Jen to my right. And so anyways, we got there and sit down, and they're cutting their promo. New Day's up there horsing around, and of course immediately I had texted Austin ahead of time to be like, hey, I'm coming and I'm front row, so keep a lookout. And like we come in and like shuffle into the seats, and like while we're shuffling, he's talking, he just looks and he's like it was that thing of like, oh, Greg's right there.
right there.
All right, I see
This is
what
gonna
it
be a
is.
fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can jump to later on of like,
That's amazing.
we went to dinner afterwards with him, and we were just talking about the show, and he's like, oh yeah, it was once I knew you guys were, that's why I kept like coming to you. Like
So good, dude.
he's
6
like,
and 1.
Yeah,
6
and 1. Yeah. Great tag for him there. But yeah, we get seated there. He's looking at us. You know, we're having a great time, and it was this lovely moment of Austin knew ahead of time to look for me, right? So they, okay, he knows it is. He's horsing around, and then like at one point, Big E it was up there, and he's like playing to the crowd on our side, and he did that like double take. I'm like, oh, Greg's, and I was like, like you know the nod or whatever while he's like horsing around the crowd, and then Kofi was on the outside, and Kofi totally was walking around because there was another one of I'm not familiar enough with the current product to know deep on the Raw side. They had another guy on the outside that was like in a German accent. He was running around doing stuff, so Kofi was interacting with him a lot, and so this is where I start. You know, there's a fine line here, Tim. I don't know how much you know at a wrestling event, how much to shout, how much to interact.
I almost want to take a step back here.
Sure.
I want to say, watching last night on Instagram and Twitter mainly,
Right.
Watching a couple clips that people sent me via text of like James Burke, obviously watching the show live.
Sure. Did he
send
see
me? Oh yeah. Send me a whole bunch of just videos of Survivor Series, like the proper show. I was so overwhelmed with pride.
Thank you.
Where I'm like, that's Greg Miller. Greg Miller is being Greg Miller. The Greg Miller we know that he can be.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, you're acting and performing just as much as anyone in that goddamn ring.
Sure.
And that's why we love you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no one else in the front row is doing that. No one else is, everyone, they're all celebrities. They're all like, oh, I'm just here and I'm just fucking like whatever.
Yeah.
Not Greg Miller.
Fake people.
Greg Miller's like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a wrestler.
Did you now? Let me ask you this question: did you see this in any way, shape, or form as a quasi audition for being in the front row more often? Do you know what I mean? Like, did you see it?
I would like to think so.
You see what I'm saying?
I would like to think
Do you
so.
think that there's maybe someone in the WWE organization who's like, this guy is really the one we've been looking for to bridge the worlds of professional sports entertainment and YouTube geekdom?
Here's
and
what I'll
maybe we
say.
should throw him in the ring occasionally.
Here's what I'll say, Nick. How many other people in the front row of this Survivor Series, actually there's one other person for sure, but how many other people are having articles written about their performance today? You know what I mean? I'm on top of the subreddit for Squared Circle today. All right, there's articles about Brock Lesnar cussing me out on everything. You know what I
We'll
mean?
get to
Like,
that.
and then Enzo kind of got his own headlines, but that's a different story.
You're
That's
right.
a different story.
That is a
He
different.
wasn't technically
Holy
front row.
shit, that is.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Oh my god.
Dude,
We haven't
there's
even
so much.
talked about this.
Dude, this is why I'm like, this is the show. Like, because there's so much inside of this 4 hours, right, that happened.
No, but real talk, you fucking killed it. I'm
Well,
so proud of you.
This is what I'm talking about. Like,
This
there's
is
a tight,
amazing.
there's a fine line as a mark, as a wrestling fan, right? Is like, I'm engaging first off, of course, because in the same way, yes, sports entertainment and wrestling is a persona, right? Or is an act, right? So is being a good audience member.
Totally.
Where it is, of course, like there's so many things of like my reactions to stuff up right now, like people getting slammed into the wall, and like me and Dunham like freaking out, right? And it's because you suspend that not disbelief, but like you are cheering
You get
and
the
yelling,
show.
and people
Yeah.
are doing hurricane
Get into
runs
it.
off
It's
top
like
ropes
stand-up
and
comedy.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Basically
Right?
the same thing, yeah.
And so you're yelling and you're cheering and you're doing the stuff. And so yeah, like I'm leaning, you know, I don't ever want to be, I don't want to take away from anybody. I got compliments, of course, from people in the front row of like, hey, you were very entertaining. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for understanding this part of our job
doing
too.
your part of the
You know
job,
what I mean?
yeah.
And definitely there's people on, I've seen it also on the subreddits of today of like, man, that guy was annoying. Why was he talking to the mic the whole time? Like, well, I know where the mics are, so I'm talking
So
when the
I'm
mic
gonna
comes by. I want to talk about the mic. Anyways, though, back to this point.
I love him.
There was realizations of like when Kofi was over there like shit talking him. I was like, yeah, Kofi, tell him. And he turned to me, he's like, yeah, Greg. You know what I mean? Of like this realization. Oh, that's Greg. Like Greg's here. That's cool. You know what I mean? And so we got there. We got to see that match. We got to see this happen. Oh, it gets way,
So
dude.
fun.
It gets way worse
Let's
in
go.
terms of the best
Let's
ways,
go.
right?
Let's go.
So we got to see that, and then it was like, all right, cool. There's a little bit of downtime. I'm like, all right, you want to take? Can we get backstage again, Keith? And he's like, oh, to actually see more. He's like, oh yeah, come on. So we went back there and we got to go to the interview set, which is where I have like photos up of Jen and I on the interview set and all this other stuff, and got pointed around, and then went back there because now it's like the countdown clock, and we get there, and it's like. We get there and it starts.
That was all pre-show.
Yeah, that was all pre-show, right? And then the real, event starts and the real pomp and circumstance is going. And this is where it just becomes just such a fucking amazing. Like, it's amazing already. But as a lifelong WWE fan to be there for this entire pay-per-view, one of the big ones, Survivor Series, you know what I mean? One of the big four. One of the big four.
So
yeah.
what are the big four just for the uninitiated
It would
here?
be, I mean, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
Okay.
And then there's a pay-per-view every month, but like there's like 4 crown jewels.
yeah.
Is
So
WrestleMania the biggest?
That is the biggest.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Pretty much
yeah.
it goes. There's Survivor Series and SummerSlam are the ones that are like the little big ones, and then Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are like the big ones.
They're-
Those are the only, and there's been many years this is not true, but most of the years it is. Those 4 are the only times everyone's involved, both Raw and SmackDown. Otherwise, it's just one of the brands.
Got it.
So, yeah, it starts off and it's just crazy to be that close. Of course, I've already been Instagramming, talking shit to Xavier the whole time. Every time he got hurt or like, knocked down, I was like, this is what you get for Johnny Ace. You know what I mean? This is what you get for Nick Scarpino.
He knows he's doing the right thing though. So
I mean, he's doing what he's doing.
he has the truth and righteousness on his side. So
Well,
that's fine.
I don't know. Now, a question you had asked Nick Scarpino was, what celebrities were there?
Yes.
And so
There's always the fun thing when I'm watching the UFC fights, right?
Sure.
Is that the front, like the first 5 rows are just stacked with celebs.
and this is LA. Then that's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Because LA is such a star-laden town.
Might as well go. Why not be seen
Right.
and have some fun?
Here's what I'll tell you.
Yada, yada, yada.
So many celebrities there.
Yeah.
So many stars bigger than me. Nobody had better seats than me.
No.
And that's what I hang my head on.
No.
You can make an argument if you wanted for
go,
Mario
baby.
Lopez. Mario Lopez
I
behind
want
the
to.
commentary table with his kid. But behind the commentary table, right? Like I'm there. Like don't get me wrong, he gets some action. He gets to see the commentators too. Like eventually they go over there and smash the hell out of the tables because it's pay per view. But I'm there getting them slammed in, and that's what I was going back to before. When I got to the barricade and touched it, I was like, I know what this means. And Jen obviously has no idea. And I had said earlier, like they're gonna be in front of us, maybe into us. Like it's a thing. She's like, no, what does that actually mean, right? And so this show gets going. And we had gotten beers, right? And like we put them on. I didn't even think about it. I put them on the foot, like on the foot of the barricade, right? Like on the indentation of the barricade. And sure enough, like match 1 or 2, somebody gets slammed into the barricade, and the barricade comes back like 18 inches into us. And Jen immediately grabs beers. I wasn't even thinking because I'm screaming, I'm jumping up and I'm screaming, doing all this stuff. She saved the beers. I'm like, these are gonna be good seats.
Yeah.
This is what. Now here's what you want to know too. Here's where I'll compliment. Like there's a lot of You want to talk about red carpet service overall, right? This is just Staples Centers now. This is how good this Staples Center is. The thing gets knocked back, the match ends, they go to, the promo package. WWE personnel comes out and yanks the barricade back to where it should be, right? And then there's this giant puddle of beer at our feet, and I was like, this is a mistake. This sucks. You know what I mean? We didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. Staples guy comes by with a towel. He's like, hey, saw you guys looking down at this. This is trouble. I got it. And I'm like, you're killing it, Benny. You're killing it right now.
Good job,
Shout out
Staples.
to Benny.
Mr. Staples.
So now let's go back to the celebrities and how I just kicked the shit out of everybody.
So we got
in seats.
Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez is over there. Over there in the same area as Mario Lopez. The guy, I don't know his name, but I worked with him at IGN on the beer pong thing for that Under 21 movie, and he's in Pitch Perfect. He's Anna Kendrick's boyfriend in Pitch Perfect. You know what I'm talking about? Skylar or something.
Oh, Anna Kendrick. No, not Adam Devine.
No.
That's
It's
Adam
Skylar.
Devine.
No, what?
Skylar, yeah, it is Skylar something.
I don't know his name.
Kevin, give me an
actor's name.
IMDb
He
on
was
Pitch
in-
Perfect.
The movie they were doing the Up and Doing thing for was 21.
Plus or over
21
21
over
over.
or something like that. It was the one where the
Yeah,
kid
the
got
kid gets drunk and go. Yeah, he's gonna go to med school or whatever, but they do this then.
right.
Scroll
So
down. It'll
we
be
were
number 2 or
looking
3 on
for
billing.
Skylar Astin.
Skylar
He's over there.
Astin, yeah, okay.
He's over there in a
Great
wrestling
voice.
shirt. And when I met him at IGN,
21
great dude.
over. Good,
Huh?
good point.
21 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's over there. Oh, that makes more sense, yeah. He's over there. You got Mario Lopez over there.
Yeah.
You got, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one because I'm not great at this. I believe you saw Straight Outta Compton.
I did.
It was Ice Cube's son played Ice Cube, right?
Yes.
He was over there.
Holy shit.
Yeah. A guy from
I
who was
love
obsessed
him.
with Batman in the
Yeah,
Stalker movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Ingrid Goes
Aubrey
West.
Graham
And
or
let me
whatever.
tell you, I'm
Aubrey Plaza.
not putting
yeah.
Skylar down. I think he seems like a real WWE fan or whatever, right?
Sure.
Ice Cube's son is there with a friend or a woman or maybe his wife, I don't know, girlfriend, whatever.
Was it Zoe Deutsch?
I have no idea who that is, maybe.
Can we Google
Zoe
Zoe
Deutsch?
Deutsch?
He has the men's title, she has the women's title, and they are all fucking in.
I
and
am
they are
shipping them
popping
so
for
fucking
everything.
hard. I
they
hope
are
it's them.
popping for everything.
DEUTCH.
Now, can I ask you this question?
Yeah, lay it on me.
At any point in the show, did you lock eyes with Mario Lopez?
I tried hard, but no, I didn't really.
Because
I feel like I locked with Skylar once, and I hope it was. He's like, is that the guy from IGN? But I
Probably
don't know.
not.
But you
He
know what I
probably
mean?
did- he
Or
probably
why
didn't
does that
remember.
guy have better seats than me?
That's
probably
that's what I would have done if I were you.
Yeah.
I would have tried to lock eyes with every celebrity.
No,
that I
this
had-
was not her. She was not there.
that I had better seats than.
Yeah.
And I would have tried to give them a look.
And I can't say she wasn't there. That wasn't her with the title.
Yeah.
I would have tried to give them a look. Like if I saw Mario Lopez and he had worse seats than me,
Yeah.
I would have given him a.
Well,
what's
let's
up?
keep
Like a
going
what's up
about the
look.
other people I did make eye contact with,
Okay.
right? That we clowned out on these seats,
Yeah.
right? Because it is that once we get there, the phone starts blowing up of all these people like, oh my God, I see you, right? I get one from our friend comedian, Jeff Dye. And I look at it, and Jeff Dye's like, I'm right behind you. Turn around. There's tall Jeff Dye from, comedian. He does a bunch of stuff on NBC now.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. I get another text. It's Harley from Epic Mealtime. He's like, look across. I'm right there. And I look across. I can't fucking find her. Harley's huge. I
How
can't
do you
find
not
Harley to
see
save my
Harley?
life.
You can't
Exactly.
not see
Probably all those
Finally,
other
I
huge
do.
guys are in the ring in their way. Probably.
No, it wasn't even that. It turns out Harley clowned out multiple seats back. He's not front row. You know what I mean? And on top of that, to add insult to injury, he's next to the unemployed Matt Robb, formerly a Smosh. You know what I mean? You know,
That's
there's
how I
just
go.
Soon, but
Nah,
yeah.
oh, no, Matt's a friend. It's a joke. It's how I make fun of you guys too. He's not in the room. We can make fun of him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how
They're over there. They're awesome. That's great. I go, and I think I might have scared them. I go up to the stairs, to go to the bathroom. Who do I see on the aisle? The Fine
Jake
brothers.
Gyllenhaal.
What?
Robbie
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. And so I dropped down. I'm like, oh, you're making your YouTube videos. He's like, oh, hey. But he never said my name. So I was like, maybe I came on too aggressive.
No, he
I don't know.
knows
No, he
who
knows
you
who I am.
are.
It wasn't that.
Oh,
But I
okay,
think the
okay.
beard, all this other stuff. And I'm like, also like,
there's a beard, yeah.
Said hey to him, and then I went back to my seats. You know what I mean? That's how I do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're there then, Nick.
God forbid you just say hello like a normal human being to these
I want to
people.
give a Greg Miller impression. I want to give a Greg Miller
just tap on the
impression.
shoulder, hey, Rafi, how's it going? And
You know,
walk
it's
back.
funnier to be Greg Miller about it. You know what I mean?
terrify people, and
People
you
say
terrify
hi to
children.
people all the time. Went to the bathroom. As I'm leaving the bathroom, who enters the bathroom? Perez Hilton.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
How
That's
would you
right.
even? I wouldn't even recognize Perez
Yeah,
Hilton.
you would.
You're not a fake. You're a fake Perez Hilton fan, I guess. Then. You know,
Oh,
that
I'm
sucks
not a
for
fan
you.
of Perez Hilton at all.
Don't you shut up. All right. Don't who me.
Remember when he punched one of the Black Eyed Peas?
Did he?
Was it Fergie?
That was
Staged?
There's a headline there. I don't remember exactly what order it was in.
Okay.
But yeah, him, Black Eyed Peas punching was a thing.
Okay. Came out of the bathroom then, and I'm waiting for Perez Hilton.
I was crunching.
What are you eating?
Fuck out of here.
So then
I like that Cool Greg started to give it back, by the way.
you'll enjoy this,
starting to give it
Nicholas.
back.
You'll enjoy this, Nicholas,
Yeah,
right?
give it to me.
I'm waiting for Jen to come out of the bathroom, right? And while I'm waiting there, a gentleman comes over and he's like, you do a podcast on YouTube, don't you? And I'm like, yes, I do, sir. And he's like, you did it about the Spider-Man PS4 game, right? And I'm like, I did. He's like, excellent work. That was awesome. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. That was great. But I introduced myself. He walked off. But it was like a nice little, oh, hey, that's
you know
right.
who it was?
Oh, no, he was just a guy. He was just a guy.
cool,
No, it wasn't like a dude. I mean, I'm
I
sorry.
thought you were gonna-
No,
I literally
It's
thought you were gonna be like, and that man's name clicked with me later, Morgan Freeman. Totally didn't recognize him.
Now that is a very that was a fun moment of recognition. There will be a much better one later on this one.
Love it.
Go back to the seats. It's front row. Like I said, people are smashing into this thing. They're all over it. I'm starting to warm up the pipes because I'm a loud individual. You know what I mean?
I'm familiar.
And so it starts slowly with the, hey, people are seeing me in the background. They hear me yelling at people. You know, I'm doing this thing. I'm blah, blah, blah. There's a 2-0, things are happening. It's starting to heat up out there. I'm saying things. It's starting to pop on Twitter or whatever. Of course, what happens is it's Survivor Series. So you have these teams come out that start getting eliminated. They bring out the SmackDown women versus the Raw women, right? And so this comes out, and this is where Sasha Banks is out there, right? And this is where I'm like, I got to represent Cool Greg now. This
And
is
you
what it's
did.
about. Exactly. Yeah, of course.
Very
and
loud.
Bailey's out there. Nina Jax, the woman who hurt Becky.
Nia.
Oh, I'm sorry, my apology. I'm new to her. I did
Jax.
not know her until this event.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the
Related
correction.
to The Rock.
Everybody is apparently.
Yep.
I was getting the rundown. Everybody's somehow related to The Rock out there.
Big family.
But like she was getting booed like nobody's business because people were super excited to see, of course, Becky versus Ronda Rousey. So anytime she did anything, they were all over her. But eventually, yes, Sasha Banks kicking some ass out there. Sasha Banks right in front of us, and this is when I seize the moment. And she rears back, ready to do her move, and I yell, "Do it for Cool Greg, Sasha! Do it for Cool Greg!" And it's heard well on commentary. It's shared well. Cool Greg himself saw it and shared it. It meant a lot to me that he saw it.
I noticed it while watching. I was like, did he just say, hey, Cool Greg? He just said Cool Greg.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
went on Twitter and saw people saying it. I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. I gotta go record. This is crazy.
But yeah, Nick, if you haven't seen, you clearly hear Greg throughout this entire show.
Oh, I don't even doubt it. I don't
Again.
even doubt it to the point where the audio engineers are probably like, how do we get this guy to stop screaming into the
because
microphone?
He did it right though, and
That's the
that's
thing.
my thing. Is he contributed where he needed to?
I've been to the
He wasn't
wrestling
just
shows.
screaming.
I've been to the wrestling shows where you have the guy that won't shut up, and I did not want to be that guy. I was there to support specific people. Not every match, not every match am I out there making a big stink about stuff.
Right.
I think it wasn't until the 205 match where I really started getting warmed up, and that's when I was yelling at the buddy guy. But even then, it was like used properly, in my opinion. Obviously, some people probably want me to shut the
done
fuck
right,
up
no
here.
kind of fan.
Exactly. But again, and I'm not yelling all the time. I'm yelling, of course, when the cameras and the action are there by me, or I need, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not yelling all the time. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's experience. I'm there to have fun. Now, meanwhile, again, we're front row. This is amazing. We got this Keith guy from WWE, amazing dude, great dude, right? You know what I mean? And he's literally doing that thing of like, well, whatever you guys need, just let me know, right? And so like, I was like, I'm gonna go.
wish
get
we
a
had a
beer.
Keith.
I'm like, I'm gonna go get a beer, right? And Keith's like, no, I'll get the beer. Keith goes and gets the beer, brings it back for me, and I'm like, this is, what? I'm front row, and people are getting me stuff. This is an amazing life. God bless you, WWE.
Thank you.
I'm starting to warm up. I'm yelling a little bit more. Action's starting to happen. We're getting deeper into the pay-per-view. Things are starting to go. And again, in the downtime when they cut to the package, that's when I'm checking on Twitter. Am I being well received?
Right.
I don't want to overstep my bounds here. People seem happy. The best friends are super happy. Everybody's into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you rocked it. You killed it.
Now, we're going to toss it in here. Eventually, this match happens. Sheamus comes out. Cesaro comes out. Who are they up with? I wrote it down because I did not know these people. AOP? AOP just came up from NXT, I guess. They're a big deal now. People really like them. Both people get in the ring, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching that. Like literally, they get into the ring, like they're still doing their entrances, and then in the crowd, a dude stands up, and I see him, and I'm like, oh, that's Enzo. And then I'm like, hey, Jeremy, it's Enzo. And I was like, wait, Enzo doesn't work here anymore, right? And he's like, no, he's still gone. Like that's not a thing. And the wrestlers in the ring look down because like Enzo stands up and yells at them. The wrestlers look at him. everyone in the whole arena turns their attention to Enzo. The wrestlers get into the ring and start going, but Enzo's. You don't know Enzo.
Who was Enzo?
Please give the Twitter version of this story because it's crazy.
So Enzo was an up-and-comer, right? He was getting, and Cool Guy, I'll need some help here if I'm getting this wrong. He was getting jobbed out for a while. He was kind of like a manager. He had this bit where a microphone would come down. He's like, dude, or he'd pull it up, like kind of like our stick mic, right? And he had this thing, how you doing? He's very Italian, you know what I mean? Enzo Moore was his name, I think? Enzo Moore?
Stole that from Matt LeBlanc.
And so he's like doing this, and like he started getting real popular, right? And he's a goofball.
He would
looks
do this
goofy.
like little fucking move.
But finally, like Enzo starts getting over, and people like him, and he starts rising to the top. And I think, he gets the title, the cruiserweight title. Like he's doing really, really well, right? And then there are rape allegations.
Oh no!
And then WWE drops him like the next day, like a hot potato, right? And so.
Then the allegations get denied and whatever, and there was this other side to it, but he's no longer with WWE.
He's gone from WWE, and so Dunham was bringing me up to speed. I looked into a little bit of it. I don't have it all, but yes, from what I understand, the allegations were thrown out, but it was a grand jury or something. They couldn't find evidence or something to that effect.
Exactly.
We're not experts on this.
Nope.
We're not pretending to be, and I don't know the insides outs of whatever the fuck thing goes. Here, if you want to even remove that, whatever happens with this allegation, right? He got thrown off a plane like on Saturday because he wouldn't stop vaping. That's the kind of guy we're dealing with right now. You know what I mean?
Class act.
So yeah. So he has this whole thing, this whole speech, and this whole way he would get the crowd like riled up or whatever, right? And when he worked at WWE, and so he stands up on the chair, calls all the attention to him, and then starts doing it. He starts doing no microphone. He's just yelling. He's wearing a homemade T-shirt. He's got a homemade championship belt, or his own championship belt. I don't think he made it himself out of cardboard. But he starts going, and everyone in the crowd, like, you know how wrestling is, like, is this part of the show? Is this not part of the show? And he's in the middle of it, and this security guard, Nick, comes out of left field and just
try to find this cat.
Boom, and like yanks him off, and he goes down, spirals into the crowd, and then hands up, don't shoot kind of thing. Like hands up, spirals out. Security gets him and throws him the fuck out.
Holy
It is crazy.
And so it's this. Kevin's gonna bring it up. Oh, it's on GameSpot from Matt Elfring. No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Just give you an idea of who he is too. Like 2 weeks ago, he dropped a diss rap against his ex-girlfriend, who's a current wrestler right now in the WWE. So when this was all going on, she's just on Twitter like, "You fucking serious right now?
Yeah.
Like, get your shit together, bro."
And so that was the thing again. Like he doesn't seem to be in a good place.
No,
period.
this seems like these are poor decisions he's
And
making.
so you don't even need to find it, Kev. I mean, we can watch it later.
I kind
Oh,
of
here
want
you
to
go.
see it.
Well, sure, but we can't show it to anybody.
No, but I can see it.
Okay, good.
So
No, don't show
No,
it. I
but
don't
I
want to
can-
get
I can
claimed or
watch
anything
it.
on this crap. But yeah,
People
his
can
shirt
watch
says "I'm doing great," right? Because how you doing was his thing or whatever. So he gets
I would put
thrown
doing
down,
great.
yanked out, and it's the same thing as always. Where then it's like the crowd's booing. They're not. They're like, what the hell? Like it's confused if Enzo was in it, if he wasn't in it. What's going on? He wasn't in it clearly. Obviously, the way it went down.
All right.
It's crazy.
Just throw it off, Kev. We'll find it later. We'll figure it out. And so then the crowd had to get back into it, and there was this moment of like me and Dunham watched Hammer, like, oh man, that's crazy. And it was that thing of like, no, we probably should have tried to film that. But like when it's happening, we weren't sure, because I mean, like, again, it's as clear as day to us. Like it's like me looking at the camera is where this was. It was that close. And then on top of it, Cool Greg was talking about it this morning, but I saw it after I started trying to figure out what was going on online. Like people had found out, like people had screenshots of, like they were watching the match and they saw it, like, is that Enzo with a hoodie on? Because it was like hoodie up and he was like all like low, like down trying to.
On Twitter, I was following along with all this stuff happening, and it was like there was just pictures coming out of this dude, and like early in the show, he was hiding, like he was totally like waiting.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, down, over, front,
Damn.
into the regular people.
Shout out to the security guard who also was rocking a ponytail.
Yeah.
Woman.
Oh, it was a woman?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thought it was like an
badass.
ex-wrestler guy who was like, I'm not letting the glory days go.
No.
Damn,
the fuck
she
down.
took his ass fucking down.
Yeah.
No, but it was crazy because there was so many screenshots of like, is that fucking Enzo?
So
Yeah.
what do you think his plan was? Hey, I'm gonna go on this. This is gonna mount my comeback, and I'm gonna start talking shit.
I think it's.
and
I mean,
then-
he put out this single. Like, I think that's more of it. Like, right, is to get people talking about him again.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't thought about it. And now, granted, I'm not watching the product week after week anymore.
Sure.
But I hadn't thought about Enzo in forever, and that's why when he even popped up, I was like, oh wait, that's not
His
right.
whole response after this is just 2 videos of him like, man, I'm just laughing at all these memes y'all making. It's like, man, this is really what you wanted. Like, it's really obvious, you know?
Yeah,
You just wanted to become a meme. You wanted to be a joke.
I just
Be in
wanted
the
to-
conversation.
that's crazy.
So yeah, that happens. That match goes on. It's fine. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Which,
But-
like, to be clear to people like Nick, and I'm sure a lot of other people watching this, not a regular thing that happens.
No, I
Yeah,
can respect that an employee doesn't come back and try to invade.
Wrestling's
pay-per-view.
weird, but
Right.
like not this weird.
No,
And that's the thing too, is like and again, not knowing anything about the particular Enzo situation, what I know about wrestling is this: if you are a good worker, if you're humble, if you're a good person, and even if you're not some of those things and you fuck up, but you come back and you're like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Vince and WWE give you second to third to fourth to fifth chance. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like if he would have played this a completely different way and not been an asshole, and like he could have easily come back. But like now he's like salted. The earth salted for at least 5 years before he'll be back on the network. Like, oh man, yeah, that was a stupid thing I did. I was doing this, and I'm blah blah blah.
that's too bad.
Dumb thing to do. However, though, the pay-per-view continues, and it's only getting better as it continues going. Did you watch the entire thing, Cool Greg?
I didn't watch. It sucks to say this. I didn't watch the pre-show.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, so I missed that.
Yeah, but did you like Survivor Series?
It was like mid-grade tier, but I did enjoy it. There's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
about 2 matches I would say I wouldn't have rewatched ever. But
Yeah.
there's a few moments that you saw that I was like, ugh, that was a good moment.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is like, it's obviously trying to. Wrestling is like any sporting event where I think when you're there, it's 20 times better than being out watching at home and
I
getting
don't
distracted.
know. I don't agree with that at all. When you're front row, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Being
Sure,
there
sure.
is like.
I like the energy
you
of it.
need
If
the
you're into it,
commentary, you need the the camera angles and stuff. Like
I vastly prefer watching UFC fights at home.
no, that's okay. You're making good points there. But I like the
Yeah.
energy of a wrestling, the room of wrestling.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like the shared crowd experience and popping for stuff and booing stuff and being a part of that kind of
Yeah.
thing. That's what I mean by it in terms of like. And yeah, I guess totally for this one in particular being way
You
skewed.
gotta
of,
be
like,
close
I got a
enough
guy
that,
who's going to
like,
get
you
me
feel
beers, and
it.
I'm getting the barricade slammed into me, and I'm getting yelling funny things and getting people screenshotting me. Yeah, okay, different story. I
You're
guess.
doing it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
doing the thing.
And
also Survivor Series.
yeah, I'm glad.
The worst.
Hating, man. You keep saying that, but that's not a real narrative, bro.
Bullshit,
Survivor Series
it
dope.
is.
I mean, it might be the worst out of the top.
Yeah.
So that's not even the conversation. You can't say it's the worst.
My problem with Survivor Series, and we don't need to go off on this,
No,
but
no,
it's
let's
like
talk about it.
they just halt all storylines and they're just like, we're gonna do this random ass thing because we do it, and it's like, oh, it's SmackDown versus
Get up
Raw.
on that mic, cool, Greg. Get up on that mic. That's okay. All good. Just put it between your legs there.
It's SmackDown versus Raw, and it's like, oh, but the rest of the year it's not that at all. So now you're teaming up with people you're enemies with. Why?
They played into that though.
Yeah.
Then the next thing I want to talk about was the Raw versus SmackDown thing, right? Because it was all right. Raw's got Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and people I recognize or whatever. Whereas SmackDown is like fucking. It's Shane McMahon, who was one of my favorite Attitude rosters of like he'll just do something crazy. He will. Again, the son of Vince McMahon,
Yeah,
right?
I know Shane
But
in
like
that.
Shane in the Attitude Era was fucking falling off the Titantron and jumping off the cage, jumping through
change.
tables and all stuff. Yeah, doing all sorts of crazy shit. Getting thrown. Oh man, you should watch King of the Ring of him, Kurt Angle.
Was
Fucking
he
getting
actually a
thrown.
decent wrestler though?
I mean, he got
he
decent.
did the thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't a decent wrestler. He was an amazing entertainer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And people were behind the gimmicks or whatever.
Because Stephanie like kind of wrestled for a while too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, she didn't do like Shane did.
Okay.
Stephanie, I would think, is somebody who was like, don't do that. Don't ever do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas
Shane was like, I'm gonna jump off of a fucking thing.
if
into
there's a
garbage
Shane
truck.
McMahon thing, he's going to do some crazy jump. Like last night, he did the thing where they held Braun Strowman on the announce table. He climbed outside of the ring. He climbed to the top rope of the inside of the ring and then jumped from that over the outside padding onto the table.
He's the type of guy that's like, I don't need to wrestle every week, every 3 days, so I can hurt myself, and I will hurt myself.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the good of the show.
Yeah, he had one really great fucking move. Oh, great! Now I forgot we can't curse. He was doing the coast to coast, where he jumps from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring, and he smashes usually a garbage can in your face in the corner. But midway through, Braun Strowman caught him and hit him with a clothesline. So he's
was
mid-air and flips in the air mid. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was because the narrative for Shane was it was Shane, Rey Mysterio, and Jeff Hardy. So
Oh
people,
my God.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I'm Team SmackDown till I die right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in for all these guys. And so, Samoa Joe was there too, but he got squashed right away, and everybody's real pissed off about it. But Ray did like a million 619s. Jeff Hardy did the Swanton Bomb, and this is like for me greatest hits kind of shit. To like, hey Jen, watch this. Like these are like things I grew up watching, and like, or not even grew up, but like cement what wrestling is to me and who these guys are. And so everybody's killing it. But yeah, like. Shane jumps off and does the elbow through the table, and then he's just like dead the entire time. And like this is the one, if you go to my Instagram story now, or I guess if you're watching live, or if you watch the Instagram video, it's the one where he comes over and just dies like in front of us. And I totally do this like panning shot with my phone, and he like looks dead eyes into the camera. Like he's like, fucking, this guy's filming me right now. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
As somebody who like, quick jock myself. I interviewed Shane before.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I made such eye contact with him. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing, bro. Like, I don't want him to recognize me. That's how intense that video was.
Yeah.
Man.
It was great though. It was great. But eventually the deal is that everybody else in SmackDown
I heard that correctly.
Everybody else is just getting eliminated and destroyed. You know, like, Miz is there too. Miz is fucking killing it. Of course.
Is he still wrestling?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He's still
yeah.
really good.
He's
yeah,
like, he's up
Wow,
there.
he's been there forever.
yeah.
Better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
he's ever been, man.
But yeah, so like Shane
Really?
did a coast to coast and
Okay.
actually connected. Then Shane went to do it again, and Braun clotheslined him in this like brutal hit and like took him out. But he wasn't out. He was just like dead. So Miz is like trying to get Shane to fight so he doesn't have to, and then Braun like beats the shit out of Miz, and then it just came down to Shane versus like 3 dudes from Raw, and they just fucking cleaned his clock and beat him or whatever. But it was like this awesome ramp up. Again, this is like, again, everyone sprawled out in front of me. Like I took that selfie of it's Shane, Miz, and then my body's blocking Jeff Hardy, also dead right there. Like everybody's just there dead. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So fucking cool.
I love it.
Yeah, no, and that was like seeing that kind of action, seeing that kind of carnage, seeing them take cool bumps and stuff like that was great. During the 205 cruiserweight match, though, again, bumps, they were all over the barricade right in front of us. This is when the seats next to us had been empty for a long time. Like, and it was like this thing of like, well, is anybody gonna come? Like Christine was up in the suite and she was like texting me and Jen like, hey, is anybody coming to those seats? Can we come down? I'm like, I don't think so, whatever. So like during the 205 match, this entourage of people come in and sit down next to Jen and I, and they are so polite and so nice and like asking us questions. Like the guy on the end was talking to me and like, all right, like what's going on? Like, what is this match? What are they chanting? Why are they chanting? I'm like explaining all this different stuff. And then I noticed the guy next to him just had fucking tattoos everywhere and then like giant diamond rings on
You're
and
like, Cool
stuff.
Greg knows this guy.
And that was immediately like, he seems like somebody Cool Greg would know. You know what I mean? And like Jen's like next to the entourage and I'm next to Jen. So
Yeah.
Jen's like trying to figure it out. Like, who is this guy? He's front row 2. He's got an entourage and bodyguard kind of thing going on. He's got like his crew with him. Like, who is it? He seems famous. We're like bouncing it around. And finally she came down. Who was it, Tim?
Sway Lee. Which we need Cool Greg for this one.
Cool Greg!
I'm not familiar with Sway Lee.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the name. Could not tell you a song.
Yeah.
I'm old now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point
yeah,
that I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh fuck.
Well, that was the thing of trying to figure it out, and like we're bumming around. I'm like, oh, is it? No, it's not this person. Who's this person? And finally, and she was like, oh, yeah, I think it's Sway Lee. And we look him up, and he's got like 4 million
yeah.
followers on Instagram. It's like, oh,
That's
okay.
Sway Lee, yeah.
He's a big deal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that Sway Lee's here or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But again, the nicest people. Like we would get up to go to the bathroom, we'd come back and sit down, and Sway Lee's friend would come.
Who's Swaley?
Yeah, we got into the story that we drastically need you for, Cool Greg.
Man, he's a rapper. I really like him, bro. He goes by the Black Beetle. He's pretty crazy, pretty successful. And you sent me a song just about a week ago with him. It's for the new Spider-Man with Post Malone.
Oh, he did the theme song for Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, yeah.
He also
It's part of a group of-
was on Game Awards last year, if I remember
that.
correctly.
I don't know that much.
The Black
Wait.
Beetle.
Can we stop for a
Yes.
second? His name's Swaley, but he goes by the Black Beetle.
Well, that's just kind of like people call him that because he has like a real like swag kind of style
Okay.
to him.
I
It's
just
like,
didn't know if
he's
it was
just
like
making
his real name's
quality
Tom, but he goes by
music and,
Swaley, but also goes by the Black
You know,
Beetle.
when other people are making like Iggy's Yellow kind of music, he's making like good quality.
So good music.
Yeah.
Good one.
And he's making other good music.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
So Iggy's great.
So yeah, but like we would when we came back from the bathroom, like one of his friends couldn't sit with them, so he was back. So that guy would come down and like sit next in our seats, and then as soon as we got back, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get out of here, don't worry." And we're like, "Oh, it's fine." Like the other entourage guys were like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "We don't care. It's totally cool. You guys are great." And like I said, we're talking to this one guy. Now here's where you want to talk about, man, the world is too small. We're sitting there, and Jen and I are like, who is this guy? We're trying to figure out, blah, blah, blah. Like, who, we can tell the diamonds, the entourage, something going on. This is before we knew it was Sway Lee. The guy next to Jen, who's the one who's asking me questions and doing all this stuff, eventually is like, it turns to me and goes, so you talk about video games? And I'm like, yeah, how did you know? He's like, my friend just saw us on the pay-per-view and says you're his favorite games person. And I was like, Fuck yeah, I am.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Why don't
and
you
I'm
tell
like-
that to the Black Beetle?
I'm
over
like,
there?
and he did.
Did
he
he?
turned to Swaley and he's like, this guy makes video. This guy talks about video games on the internet. This guy talks about it, and he's like whoever the guy's friend is, and he's like, that's really cool, man. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. Blah, blah. And we go back in a second, and he's like, I hear, yeah, he's here, and I turn over, the guy's FaceTiming his friend, and this best friend, this kind of funny best friend. I'm like, hey man, we're at wrestling. This is awesome, right? He's like, yeah, cool, man.
That's fucking
Thanks for
awesome.
doing this.
That's
and I was
so
like,
fun.
what a small fucking world.
love
We're trying to
it.
figure out who they are, and they're like, who are they? Like, you know what I mean? We all fucking figured it out
That's so
together.
funny. That's so funny.
And so yeah, that was the coolest thing of like, I wanted to know, obviously, because like, oh man, that's cool. Like, there's a celebrity next to us. Who is it? But then also, he was Instagram storing everything. So like, some of the stuff I've been stealing and putting up are from him. That was a great tweet I thought that I had. And if I can say so myself, my close personal friend Swaley did this.
good.
So
It's
many
good.
people were like, "How long have you known Swaley?" I'm like, "Oh, I met him at a WWE
15
pay-per-view."
minutes. Yeah.
Love it.
Swilly may or may not remember me, but we're
No,
friends.
he totally was. We've been talking online. It's
awesome.
happening, man. We're out there.
Oh, God,
we
bring
out
him.
we
Get
out
him in.
cheat. We cheating?
exciting.
We cheating it. We doing it. So yeah, they got there, and then we were fast friends, and everybody's doing it. It's just amazing, and everything's going on. And then, like, I won't lie, I was actually stoked for Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch. When we're going to Survivor Series. Oh, this is happening. Oh, Becky, who I know from, Xavier and Rocket League and all that jazz. Becky, who wants to come on the GameOverGreggy show sometime. Becky, who's like blowing up, right? But then I don't know how much you know about any of this. I mentioned earlier, Nia, right? Or I say
Nia Jax.
Nia. I don't want to put an end in there. I
Nia.
don't want to. Clocked Becky Lynch in this like thing they were doing when they crossed over.
Nia. It's I don't know. Cool to say Nia.
You know better.
I know
than
it's
us.
NIA. I know it's NIA. So okay.
Yeah, I just can't pronounce anything. You know
Met her
that.
in the streets
like
of New
Nia Long.
Orleans walking around.
No shit,
for
really?
WrestleMania. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
walking. I was like, oh shit. I was with kind of funny best friends, Duval.
Yeah.
Duval.
Anyways, that she got so much heat and was hated there because she busted up her face, broke her nose, gave her a concussion. Doctors wouldn't clear her to wrestle Ronda Rousey, and they'd been building this for a long time. So Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter, got the storyline pass from Becky to come wrestle.
Is she
Ronda.
respected, Charlotte Flair?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
People like Charlotte.
Charlotte
Flair.
Flair.
Yeah.
The most respected.
The most.
Yeah.
Because it's her, and does her brother do it too? Or no?
Yeah.
RIP, right?
Huh?
Oh, he passed away.
Oh, did he pass away?
Yeah. That's right,
Okay.
that's right.
It was.
I just remember them from watching the 30 for 30.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
They were kind
exactly.
of the next wave of Flairs.
Yeah,
that were coming
yeah,
in.
yeah.
I know on her bio on her Twitter or Instagram, it does say that she was like in the top ESPN's top 20 bodies of 2016 or something like that.
Oh, she made the
She's
body
just on
issue?
different
If we
levels.
have it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
She's really just. They call her, what is it, naturally selected or something like that, where she's just made different. Her body's just made to be a wrestler.
Well, she comes from good. Like her dad had a great
Yeah.
body.
She's such a good performer too.
Yeah. Oh my
She
God.
hits the moonsault,
Yeah.
like the backflip,
amazing.
Yeah.
it's just nothing.
Well, that was the thing last night. Is like she went to another level. Like that was like.
It was probably one of the best things they could have done.
Right.
Because this Nia Jax person really she took one person out of the pay-per-view, which was Becky Lynch, but that ruined every match. Like, I mean, at least as far as females go. So
Right.
it's like every match got changed because they had to change things. Sasha Banks originally wasn't even in this match up until maybe an hour before. Like, when you got to the arena, Sasha wasn't on the card.
Gotcha.
So it's weird that they threw all these people in last second. That's how messed up she messed
That
up.
sucks.
It's
that
real bad.
sucks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's just obviously an accident, right?
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, it wasn't on purpose. No,
I mean,
not at all.
she's huge. Becky Lynch is very skinny, and you fake punching her.
And it was
She got smacked.
totally.
Shit happens,
They
yeah.
showed it on there. The whole angle was that it was like a invasion. Like I think they invaded Raw, right? Yeah. SmackDown people invaded Raw, getting ready for Survivor Series to pump that
It
up.
was supposed to be vicious.
And so everybody ran in together, and that's a scrum. Like that's a hard thing to choreograph
Yeah.
and not screw up. So yeah, Jax turns around and hits her or whatever.
I mean,
Like,
to be
face.
fair, too, that's probably like confirmed. I know you for like a week or two now have been telling me that you have like some high hopes for Becky. Like I didn't know about it, but I'm really liking her.
Yeah.
I think for like just the general wrestling fan, like that moment was big for Becky.
Oh
Her
my God,
bleeding and
dude.
everything, like she just
No.
was so vicious.
she went. That was the
Yeah,
thing. She's
yeah.
on a. She like even being injured and missing this thing. Like
It was worth it.
The chance for her in that place, like even during the match for Ronda versus that,
Yeah.
when Ronda Rousey, amazing performer, and I want to talk about everything that happened in that match. But she lost, or well, she won, but it was a disqualification, and she got booed so hard that I was getting texts from my friend like, "When did LA turn on Ronda Rousey?" And I'm like. They turned because they want this Becky thing. They were building this feud with Becky and then didn't get there, right?
Right.
They didn't get the payoff they wanted. It's not they're booing her because they really don't like her. They're booing her because the storyline calls for her to be booed
Yeah,
in this situation. Yeah, like this match was awesome. Was this one of your favorites? Did you like this one?
Charlotte versus Ronda?
Yeah.
I'd say it's my favorite Ronda match ever.
Right? Like
Yeah, like,
she,
it's in a
they were
different-
both
different
on
category,
another
even though
level.
it's
And like in terms of like I've seen Ronda fight at your house a few times. You know, just you fight your wife. No, I'm kidding. Like when I go see the UFC like stuff at your house, I've seen her fight that way. And like, don't get me wrong, like that's a obviously a sport and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
different beasts.
But like to see her be an entertainer, I haven't seen much of her like in WWE yet. And so to have her come out and see her be playing like the faces she was, like coming down, slapping hands, the Roddy Piper kind of outfit, being just awesome and into it and smiley, but still being fierce. And then getting in the ring and seeing her bring the UFC tendencies to it, like the way she like cleaned her feet before getting in there, the way she would like stomp her feet and like start warming up, right? The way they did the introductions like UFC for her and for Charlotte, and then them getting in there. The beginning of that match is so technical. Like it's not wrestling in terms of big moves. It was very much like collar and elbow, like we're feeling each other out. Like they were
Chris
like
Benoit, Kurt Angle.
they were sparring more, right? They were sparring into it and setting this thing up of like how this match was going to go. And this is the second to last match. So it's this then the main event between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan. And this is the one where it the night of building up to getting to somewhere where you could have your own thing to cheer for caught up to Jen. This is where Jen went from, oh, this is really cool and I'm enjoying this, to Jen is a wrestling fan now. Because it was that, I like Ronda Rousey. I'm going to cheer for Ronda Rousey. And then to have them put on this fantastic match. Again, so technical. Again, like it sounds weird, but like what Cool Greg brought up, right? Like Becky Lynch is super over now, and part of wrestling, obviously,
When you
is
say over, that means what does that mean?
they like her.
Everyone likes her, okay.
She's
Crested.
You can be
you've
over as a
broken
bad
through.
guy too, then they boo you. But it's like wrestling, of course, you want to either
But they
be,
still love you.
You want to be cheered, you want to be booed. You don't want to
Over
be anywhere.
means you're getting a reaction, and the loudest reaction.
Yeah.
Whether it's positive or negative, you're accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish as a character.
And so the thing about wrestling and wrestling fans, and this is me speaking, right? It's similar to what we do, right? You get what you put in. So people want to see you try, even if you're not doing well or you're whatever you're like doing. Becky is super over, right? Because she came out, got her fucking face hauled off on, covered in blood, kept fighting, did that epic thing you've probably seen on social media of her out in the crowd, surrounded by people, blood pouring down her face. And it's like, fuck, that's like Stone Cold, that's like this, that's like whatever, right? Early on in this match, like Ronda caught something in her mouth. It was just bleeding out of her mouth. And kept wrestling, and like her sports bra is white and it's getting like blood on it.
Yeah, Ronda's used to that.
Of course, and it's like, fuck, like this is just like, you want it to be theatrical, you want it to look great, but you want it to be visually stunning as well, right?
Sure.
And so this match is already getting that happening, right? Because Charlotte's amazing, she's doing the moonsault, she's over there killing it.
And blood's like not really allowed.
They don't do that anymore. WWE's PG. If
They
you
don't
see,
do the thing where they cut the head.
no,
anymore.
if you see blood now, something's actually
Something
gone wrong.
went wrong.
And that was
it's not allowed anymore.
And that was the thing too of talking to Jen about it. Like right in the very beginning, somebody blew a spot, like they blew a move, right? And I waited for it, and the audience didn't chant "You fucked up." And I was like, yeah, back in the old days, they would have said, "You fucked up."
fucked
Yeah,
up.
you
Yeah,
fucked
you
up.
fucked
You
up.
fucked up. And they didn't do it here. And it's like, and I was like, it's different now. And it was the same thing too of like, not having paid so much attention to like current product, but like I had been watching backstage and I've seen
love
other
that
stuff.
you call it product.
That's what they call it. I mean,
It's
that's
so
just the
great.
terminology, right? But like I caught wind of like, oh yeah, now they put on, when people start to bleed, the refs, put on gloves. Like that's not how it used to be back in the day, right? Like now it is. As soon as somebody sees blood, the ref reaches in their pocket and puts on gloves. And
Interesting.
And it's like, oh, it's kind of like I see it in UFC in the same
UFC,
way and
yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting change as like sports entertainment and like the sporting and everything else is
Real
evolved.
quick, it does remind me of back in the day when you see like the thumbtack matches.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
the
yeah.
refs doing the 1-2 and they kiss themselves on the thumbtack.
Oh, yeah.
I
Dude.
loved that when they'd fuck up the count. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So
Fucking insane.
the match is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
It's
just
epic.
insane.
It's telling this great story. Like Jen is into it, like screaming for Ronda. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been, doing my thing and yelling, obviously, and I continue to and do
Wait, John,
chants.
she's a Ronda fan?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sucks.
Dude, no. First of all, I mean, Charlotte was great, but like Ronda, I thought Ronda, was really well done last night. You know what I mean? In terms of that.
It's understandable that Cool Greg would think that, though. I mean, you're talking about a person that came in, right? And like, I can
sure.
imagine a lot of WWE fans were like, you're getting a lot of levels skipped here because you're coming in from an
Suck
outside.
sauce.
But the thing about it is, so stick with me though. This is what I'm
did you
talking
say?
about.
Sending that. What is it?
Sipping that sucka sauce.
Sipping that sucka sauce. I thought he said send me some sucka sauce, and I was like, I'm gonna send it to you, buddy. I don't know what that is,
but this speaks to my point earlier though, is that I do believe like you get what you put in, right?
Yeah.
And Rhonda is well aware, I'm sure, that she skipped a whole bunch of shit, right? And she needs to over deliver on shit, and that was the thing of. It's PG WWE, so it's different. I don't, you know what I mean. I haven't watched, I don't. It's different than what I grew up on. You know what I mean? When I think of wrestling and Attitude Era and DX and all that shit. Eventually, they brawl to the outside of the ring, right? And so like, I'm sitting where I'm sitting, right? I'm pretty much, just a little bit off the corner post here, and they're around the other side, and. I can't exactly see what's happening, but it looks like Charlotte's going under the ring, which is a weird move because this isn't a no disqualification. This isn't a hardcore. Like, you can't just do anything like that. And she comes out with a kendo stick. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And so she turns and hauls off into Rhonda's midsection. And they ring the bell. And like I just put it out today. Somebody found, because people are still sending me reaction gifs. We put it out, or I retweeted it, and it's Rhonda right afterwards coming right to us and like screaming, right? And it's me. It's Jen, me, and Dunham all mouth agape, like, oh, and that's like 100%. Like, we're into it, obviously, but like, it was out of the blue. It was unexpected. I didn't understand why the match was going to turn that way, right? And so they ring the bell, and Charlotte Flair goes from being like, yeah, this technical, like, this is what she
Beloved,
is. Not
like,
prim and proper. That's not what I mean. But like, I've got it together. I'm a technical wrestler, right?
Yeah.
The queen. She is very just like, I'm the good person and I'm better than you and fuck this.
And she goes, the way they take her in the angle is that she goes bananas. She's got that wide eye, like wild look in her eye. And she hauls off and she beats Rhonda on the outside with this kendo stick until it is obliterated. Like, and again, as somebody who's watched tons of wrestling, I know like when a kendo stick's broken and when you're gonna stop. There's clearly a thing they talked about before of like, beat the living fuck out of me with this. To the point that when she pulled out the first one, she pulled out a second one. So she obliterates this thing on Ronda Rousey, right? And then gets the second one. I think Ronda gets in the ring at this time so that everybody can see now, and just gets fucking destroyed. And I mean destroyed in a way I haven't seen with a kendo stick in years, where it's like she's not taking it the way you'd take it, right? Like if you're a professional wrestler and you're getting hit with a chair or you're getting hit with a kendo stick, right? You're on all fours, your back arched, right? Like you're taking it that way. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna welt, but it'll go away, right? And then you can look at anything. And this is the whole thing, the classic I Quit match with Rock and Foley that we've talked about from Beyond the Mat, right? Where Foley's turning away, trying to get him to take in the back, and Rock hits him in the head a bunch of times. This is clearly Rhonda not doing that. She's rolling over. She's taking him on the shins. She's taking him on the arms. She's taking him to the head. They busted her. I saw it today on her Twitter. Like they have like the cleaned up shots of like after the doctor, but her ears all fucked up and bloody, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the way they exploded and the way they went. There are like legitimate slashes on her. It looks like she's got like an X on one of her arms and all stuff, and her legs are all fucked up, and she's just beat the shit out of it.
Kind of 6 minutes of what, like a balsa wood, not a balsa wood, like a
some kind of something
bamboo.
Like that. Yeah, something like a bamboo,
like slits of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they probably bought some that were not.
I'm sure they do, but like
100%.
trust me, like this is like the way it's pointed, the way.
Oh no, you're gonna get hit with wood. You're gonna hit with wood. Like that's just gonna. It's kind of like a half whip.
I mean, for me as somebody who again isn't like in it watching every Raw anymore or anything, but like watching this, I'm like, I see what you're doing. Like you had this thing of like, or this is what we're gonna do, and I need you to beat the real shit out of me because I need to prove that I want to be here.
Yeah,
this
people
is my
have to
thing.
see how tough I am.
And then it goes beyond that. Charlotte gets a chair. She comes in, she hits her with a chair. They do the thing where they like put it around her neck and then stomp on it and shit. Like it's brutal and like.
Show him the chair.
Oh, that's not that chair.
It's not the chair.
Show him the chair.
I stole the chair for you.
I brought my chairs back. I gave Cool Greg one, of course. So yeah, like.
Dope.
It's like everybody rushes out. The refs rush out. Charlotte gets pulled off a bunch of times. Then like the real like black suited people come out of like no like that's how you're really gonna stop refs. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna
Refs are part of the show, right?
And so it was just like holy shit. And like that was for me. Rhonda, first off, being better in ring than I thought she'd be. Mm-hmm. I haven't really seen her perform lately. And then on top of that, taking a beating like that, right? And then Charlotte being so good at it and giving this performance, like it was an amazing match. Not only in terms of, all right, cool, they told the story throughout it, but like I was entertained the entire way, And it's that weird thing. And this is again as somebody who's like lapsed in a lot of ways of watching and being like, man. Remember when it was the Attitude Era and I was watching the divas wrestling. It was like so awkward and weird.
Bathroom break. Like,
Yeah, exactly,
such a
exactly. And this is like
disaster.
this could have, and honestly, maybe should have main evented. Like this was such an amazing match.
And that's the thing, man. The women's division now, it's like
Killing
the
it.
debate between what should be the main event. If Brock Lesnar wasn't the main event, it
Yeah.
would have been this.
100%.
And granted, there's Ronda, but like take Ronda out of it. It doesn't matter. Like the women's division is killing the
What do
fucking
you mean
game.
if Brock Lesnar was the main event, it would have been this?
If
if
Brock-
he wasn't in it, if it wasn't a Brock match.
if it wasn't a Brock match, it would have been the women's match.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had the Brock match. There was no point.
Well, that was the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, champion versus
Daniel
champion.
Bryan, is he one of the Bellas?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
yeah.
went away for a while and came back.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Did he get
Bring
injured?
him back? Oh, he got medically cleared.
What?
He's back. Yeah,
I
he's
thought he
back
had
full
like a,
time.
was it neck?
Yeah.
What was wrong with him?
I think it was neck, right? Yeah.
Pretty sure it was
Yeah.
What the fuck? Really?
He's been back a while now.
Holy
he's been
shit.
back
When I
for-
watch
for a good minute.
Divas, the reality show, I always like him on it. He seems like a fair.
He
like a
won,
fairly
and then he won the
nice
title
guy.
when
Big
Roman
fan of Hunter.
vacated, right?
It's awesome.
Can't remember.
I'm pretty sure when Roman vacated because of his cancer, they did like a tournament thing, and he won it that way. I'm pretty sure. I'm loose on
Wow.
that. But anyways, it was him versus Brock, and it was
Isn't there a slight size discrepancy there?
exactly, and that's the
Like,
problem.
Brock's fucking
Of
huge.
Brock Lesnar matches usually are him just destroying somebody, right?
Yeah, because
And-
he's like 280
exactly,
pounds.
and they want him to be the unstoppable monster and all this different
Yeah,
stuff,
he's
right?
fucking huge.
But like this was also the thing of it's main event, it's the most action, right? And I was, again, I've not been quiet. I'm yelling, I'm doing the chants or whatever. But this is fucking Paul Heyman. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
This is a guy who not only do we follow each other on Twitter and do I fucking, are you kidding me? Paul Heyman gave me ECW. You know what I mean? I'll follow Paul Heyman to the ends of the earth. So like him coming out and doing all this stuff and being in Brock's corner and stuff, like I was totally, and I don't like Brock. And when I say I don't like Brock, I mean I don't like Brock in terms of like he's
character.
a heel that I cheer against as a heel. Like, you know what I mean?
Let's take a couple
Walk me
steps
back.
to explain to people that don't know. Paul Heyman is
Paul Heyman is he's been in professional wrestling forever. Paul Heyman started another company called ECW, which was Extreme Championship Wrestling, which is the precursor to the Attitude Era, which, WWE, when was started losing to WCW and saw that this was happening, took a lot of their ideas and did a lot of stuff with it, and had a whole feud for a long time, Paul did with both companies, WCW and WWE or F at the time. Eventually, WWE buys ECW and Paul comes on that way. He's a commentator for a while. He searches for a long time to find a role.
as much a businessman as he is a personality.
100%.
He is the person that saw what was happening in professional wrestling and was like, I'm going to come in and do it better, do it louder, do it more punk rock.
I'm gonna
than
go in a
anyone
way.
else
I'm gonna
is
go.
doing.
There's an audience that isn't being served, and I'm gonna go do that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give them what they want, but I'm also going to be the person that's there doing it on camera.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, a precursor to Vince McMahon.
Sure. Yeah. He was a very. I mean, yeah. Like I think in the character of Mr. McMahon, right? Like the way
Yep.
that evolved from the Bret Hart thing, that was already happening with Paul Heyman being very clear and stuff, and like cutting promos when WCW and WWF were taking his guys, right? About how that this, and then when you got fired from one of those companies, ended up there like Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Like when he got let go by WCW, and I should say Steve Austin, Stunning Steve Austin. When he gets let go of WCW, he ends up at ECW, where his gimmick is, he's going to do the Hulk Hogan shit for a second. And he's like, that shit won't work. And he starts becoming the fuck it all. I'm going to drink beer. I'm fucking Stone Cold, which then
Fuck beer, drink beer.
WWE sees and is like, there's something there. Come over. And they try to make him ringmaster Steve Austin. And then he eventually fucking like Paul Heyman ahead of his time.
Visionary.
Just didn't have.
He would have been 30 under 30.
100%, 100%. And so,
sense.
like, as somebody who loves ECW, like ECW is my shit, right? Like, Paul's like god tier for me. So, like, we don't talk about it often on the show, but like, remember when we did January 5th and we left, and like that day, Paul Heyman tweeted about us without us reaching out to him. Paul Heyman tweeted, and I'll never forget it. It was just like, the year's so young, but I hear there's already been an industry shakeup as Greg Miller and Kind of Funny have broken off, dude. I'm like, how the fuck does Paul Heyman know any of this shit? You know what I mean? But that's Paul Heyman, and he's paying attention to everything and has, I'm sure, great people working for him.
Yeah,
and with
yeah.
him.
One of the
That's
best wrestling documentaries ever is The Rise and Fall of ECW.
ECW, sure, yeah.
Oh shit! I should watch that.
You should.
Got to, yeah.
Yeah, it really is the story of Paul Heyman. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And he has his own
Which
now.
which,
He has his
which
own thing.
documentary was it in where they interviewed Stone Cold's wife? And they were sitting there. He said they were sitting there over like a glass, like a coffee or something like that, a cup of coffee. And they were trying to figure out what his next thing was. And his wife was like, "Well, whatever you're gonna do, you should drink a coffee before it gets stone cold." And he was like, I like that name. Like that's I guess his wife came up with or something like that. I forget what
Really?
name that
I
was
don't
in.
remember
Yeah,
this, yeah.
it was a
Ah,
cup of
it
tea or
is.
something. I don't know. Fucking.
That's
But
amazing.
she was like, "Yeah, drink it before it gets stone cold." And he's like, "I don't know. I like that."
And not only that, I mean, at ECW, Paul Heyman can cut a promo like nobody's fucking else, right? But then you let him go for years and years and years and go to WWE and get better and better and better. It was a perfect pairing of Brock Lesnar is this a physical specimen, right? This monster.
Yeah, he's a killer.
But like he didn't. I remember when Brock started, like he couldn't cut a promo or talk to save his life, and so they eventually team him up with Paul.
Yeah.
Isn't he
So-
He's still fighting in the UFC though, isn't he?
Well, that's the whole thing. He's like a
He's supposed
part-time
to-
thing.
He's a
You're getting into
part-timer.
a way a bunch of stuff.
People
yeah.
don't like him
Yeah.
because of that, because he is such a part-timer.
Because he's got another fight coming up, I think.
Yeah. And this is the whole thing again where I think Ronda is going to go get the shit kicked out of her and eat shit and do whatever she needs to prove to the audience, like, no, this isn't.
No. Ronda's never coming back to UFC.
Well, I know, but I mean, this
I
isn't
know.
a sidestep for me like you
she
see other people
understands
do.
like that when I heard that she was going over that, I was like, that is the smartest move possible
Yeah.
for her because her movie career is what it is. It's
Yeah.
not. Once
Hey.
she stopped, what? I mean, she's
Fast.
in Fast. I understand. She's,
She's
in
not
family.
just in Fast. She's in Fast 6.
She is in Fast 6. But what
that
happened,
right?
I think, with Ronda was that she was doing great while she was winning, and then when she started losing, I think she lost a lot of cachet in the industry. This is a great move for her, and I think she probably understands like this is the future of what I'm going to do
Oh, sure.
to get back into that realm of like making feature films, things
Sure,
like that.
yeah.
And it's not to underplay like what Ronda did for the sport of for the women's division of UFC is like you. They will forever be in her debt.
Oh, sure, yeah.
For sure. But yeah, it became very blatantly apparent. She was like, I don't want to come back on this one.
Fast 7.
That's
okay.
what I said.
So,
You said Fast
Sorry,
6 originally, but
hold
it is
on.
Fast 7.
I said 6. I threw up the 7.
Yeah, because it's
the
the
people
one.
know.
It's been a long
Yeah, it was that.
time.
It was that.
Yeah.
It was
the
building
Anna
the
Paul
building.
Walker. Yeah.
Yeah. 6 was another female.
6 was
MMA
Gina
fighter.
Carano, who
Yes.
was also a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had that awesome fight with Letty and
in the
Michelle
subway.
Rodriguez in the fucking subway.
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
that was
fuck.
good. That was good.
Michelle,
The tubes.
Gina Carano
Deadpool.
in Mandalorian. She's in the new TV series with Pedro
Fett.
Pascal with Boba Fett, the Star Wars TV series.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So she's gonna do that. She was also in
and
Deadpool. That's right.
Deadpool.
Well, I was right. I know I was right.
Like
Don't
something
worry.
that's really topical right now is Bad Baby is getting trained to fight by one of these 4 horsemen of UFC. I'm pretty sure it's Cyborg, and she just tried to fight in the
Shit.
club at
I
Cardi
saw
B's
Cyborg
thing,
fight.
trying to fight Iggy Azalea. So let's just see. These are real facts. Put it now.
These are real facts.
I feel
Cool
like
Greg coming with the real facts. Hard truths is back, and it's with
Cyborg.
Cool Greg.
Cyborg is scary.
Cyborg is a
Positive
killer.
Cyborg. It's one of them 4 horsewomen.
So Daniel Bryan comes out. Then it's Paul Heyman, and of course Brock Lesnar. I guess
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like, arguably
Go.
Beloved.
the most beloved, like, iconic wrestler of the last decade. I don't know if that might be too big of a spectrum,
2010, let's just
but
say.
like he is the guy that made the yes, like, and in wrestling, when you come up with the
thing.
what, like when you come up with the
When you have
thing,
your
that
catchphrase,
the
yeah.
entire fucking crowd
Yeah.
does, like, not even a catchphrase. It's more
Yeah,
than that. You know
a
what I mean?
movement, the yes movement.
It's a movement that, like,
when Hunter Pence rips you off.
yeah. And
He
you
gave
get-
credit,
You
though.
get the
He
high
gave credit.
five.
He
You get
gave
that,
credit.
like, nah, like Daniel Bryan is the dude.
Yeah. And so it's a big deal that he's back. It's, again, Brock is, you love to watch Brock do shit, but then you love to hate Brock in the same way. You know what I mean? Which is definitely the side I was coming down on. Love him and I love Paul. I love the relationship between them, right?
Here
But
comes the pain.
I'm gonna cheer for Daniel in this match or whatever was my decision going on. This is the one where I become the most vocal and get the most, like, this is where the articles come from and stuff like that. So what happens is Brock comes out and Brock is Brock and just starts beating the living shit out of Daniel Bryan.
again,
and he's
monster, living
he's,
monster.
He's tossing him. His whole thing is Suplex City. So he's fucking throwing Daniel Bryan around the ring. And he's just dead weight. You know what I mean? Eventually it sprawls out in front of us into our area and they get a shit kicked out of him. And this is where I start getting in some of the good ones where I'm just like, he's dead. Stop. You know what I mean? Brock, stop. He's dead. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. I'm yelling all sorts of stuff like that. At one point when they're back in the ring and it's because, like, what you want to do is let when the crowd gets quiet. Because the crowd's starting to lose. It's hard to just watch them get destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So, like, there was a quiet moment, and I yelled, Paul! And then he's across the ring. And Paul Heyman looked at me, and I'm like, you gotta stop him. It's already over. And he did one of these, like, shrug kind of things. I'm like, yes. But then, yeah,
How cool is that, Greg Miller?
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
16-year-old Greg Miller. How
kidding me?
fucking cool is it
Making
that you screamed at Paul Heyman across
and
the
he
ring?
gave me a look. He eye
acknowledged you
contact. There's
and
eye
gave
contact.
you the thing.
Yeah, a little bit of shrug. I'm not saying it was huge. I mean, just a little bit.
He gave you a shrug.
Yeah.
He
There was good
acknowledged.
shrug there. He gave you good shrug.
So, but then the one that is the one that keeps getting kicked around, where you brought up Brock Lesnar talks shit to me, right?
Yeah.
Is that like when I eventually switched tactics in my narrative of what's happening of like
time
I'm
to
gonna
fuck
cheer
with
against
Brock.
him. No. Of just beg Brock to stop. Basically, what Paul does. Paul's thing is like as Brock, he watches him destroy people and he tries to get him just to finish it, right? And so yeah, like Brock's got Daniel Bryan dead in the ring or whatever, and yeah, I yelled out, I was like, Brock, just pin him already. And Brock looks at me and goes, shut up. And this is the one that's on camera. And he looks at me and he goes, shut up. And then I didn't know this until today when I was watching videos and that people called it out and it got an article written about it. He goes, fucking moron. Shut up. Fucking moron under his breath, right?
Yeah.
And then,
That's a scary guy to have pissed at you.
well, no, because
I know he's
that's the
probably
thing.
teasing, but you never know.
Well,
with
that's the
Brock.
thing.
We'll take him as a group.
With Brock, well, that was that's
we won't.
That's
No, we won't.
That is and this is when I knew on top of everything, Swaley, very cool man.
Yeah.
Because he has the video of it happening, right? And then they all freaking I play into it and I put my head down like in defeat or whatever. And then he turns the camera back to Brock, but I go to them. I'm like, if this pops off, I need you guys. And that's when you hear Swaley goes, yeah, don't worry, we'll jump him, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like if this pops off, I got Swaley and crew.
You'd have to. I
It's
don't
me,
even know
Swaley,
what the
his
number would
entourage,
be.
Jen. We're taking on Brock Lesnar.
I'll say this: the 5 of us currently in this room, I don't like our odds against Brock Lesnar. I think I met Brock Lesnar once at a UFC thing.
I think I did too. I was trying to remember that.
Fucking huge, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. He's
Like
insanely big.
it's not the height so much as the width of his shoulders that you're like, what happened to you? Like, what mutant experiment did they do? Did Mr. Sinister do to you when you were young? But like, no, I mean, you see him like even when he was younger, when he was like
he's always been
like
like
a wrestler.
yeah.
He's
When
fucking huge.
he was a Golden Gopher wrestler
And then
in Minnesota.
Again, not to discredit anything that the WWE does, but I'm sure Brian was like, this is gonna be a fun match because this guy's gonna be able to just throw me around. But imagine stepping into the octagon with that guy.
Oh my God,
and being
no
like,
way.
this guy's gonna throw his fucking hands at me.
Yeah.
And if he gets his hands on me and he wants to take like, talking about suplexes, he does shit for fucking real.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
octagon. Like that's fucking
Well,
terrifying.
dude, like the thing about Brock Lesnar, the funny thing is Brock Lesnar was so everyone grew up with the Attitude Era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone. Like there's many generations of people that grew up with the PG era and like all of this
I don't know,
like
man. What was
with
it called? Not the PG era.
the wuss
It
era.
was called the Attitude Era. Or no, it was called the what was it? John Cena's era. It's not called the PG era.
yeah PG.
It's
John
PG
Cena's
now.
PG.
Now
PG
for sure.
now. It
Is
was
Cena still wrestling?
It was
There was an era in between, and that was when Cool Greg like
yeah,
came
that's
up.
what I'm
like,
saying. 'Cause I'm not PG era. Man.
yeah,
Don't
like
respect.
when it came to Brock Lesnar, like Brock Lesnar was when my brother like first got
sure,
in
yeah.
when Brock Lesnar was dominating.
And see, that was my thing is I started to go out when Brock came up. I remember
the
still getting
ruthless
a
aggression era.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, yeah, that
That's
is
what I'm
what
saying,
it
it's
is.
different
That
than
is what it
PG.
is. You're right.
Oh,
you're
now
right.
we're the
I love how it's
reality
like
era,
reality
apparently?
era because everyone's got a damn reality show. It's hilarious.
That is
Thank you
hilarious.
for
But
that.
no, but
It's a
Brock
good show, by the
Lesnar
way.
though, like I remember when my brother was watching because I didn't grow up with WWF, WWE, any of the shit. My friends did, but I wasn't into it. Kevin was into it. Kevin was like super into it for
Mick Foley?
a while.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, Mick Foley and
got a
all
big
that.
wrestler,
Peruvian
you're
Mick Foley.
into it.
Yeah.
That must
But
have been the Attitude Era, right?
yeah, Kevin was in the Attitude Era, but it wasn't until I would say 2003, 2000 something.
2003 at No Mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool Greg got in, and I was in because of that. And Brock Lesnar was the fucking guy.
Yeah.
But so
With
was
Paul
Kurt
Heyman.
Angle. Like that's what I'm saying. So now to hear how he's fallen off, it's crazy.
But the thing with Brock Lesnar is he has always been this dominant force because he can do things other people can't. His finisher, because wrestling at the end of the day is a video game,
Yeah,
right?
it's fun.
You're
Silly.
Ryu. You do the Hadouken, you can do the Shoryuken. Oh, you're Ken. Your Shoryuken's better than the Hadouken, but whatever. And you go through and like every character in Street Fighter has their own finisher, right? That's wrestling. Every wrestler has
Sure.
their own finisher.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's finisher, the F5,
Legendary.
is honestly the coolest fucking finisher in
What does he
history.
do?
Also, how John Cena
fireman's
got
carry
his.
and
Right?
So John Cena's finisher, the FU, now known as the attitude adjustment because they couldn't say FU.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Is you get someone,
Fireman's carry.
Fireman's
head
carry.
here, fireman's carry. You get it?
Yeah.
You throw him over, you're done. Brock Lesnar, same thing, but you fucking spin them.
So they land on their shoulder.
So you go, and they go, and then hit the ground.
That's intense.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Contextually,
Brock Lesnar.
is this the rock bottom? Was that his finisher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the Stone Cold Stunner. Was that his finisher?
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
it.
You're
Thank
nailing it.
you.
You're nailing
Thank
it.
you.
Brock had 2 finishers.
What was the one where he jumped over?
People's elbow.
People's elbow. That's what
Yeah.
it was. That's where I got the crying
Better as a
elbow
corporate elbow, but I digress.
From. All right.
Yeah, so like it's a squash, and then Daniel turns it around, roars back. They actually have like this is the thing again where I was like, man, I think this is I don't know. Cool Greg can correct me, but for me personally, I think this might be the best Brock match I've ever watched. In terms of it having a narrative and being like, again, I left as he was coming up.
Okay.
But I feel like in terms of it not just, I've been excited for other Brock matches and I see him like, oh, it sucks. You know what I mean? Like it's just him squashing somebody or it's just him fucking
That wasn't what it was.
trying to work with the Undertaker.
in the early days.
Yeah. So I was saying, like, he's kind of fallen off because I compare him to Angle back then. Like,
Yeah.
they put on unbelievable
Yeah.
matches. But as far as you're saying for this, I don't know. It kind of felt like a squash match with a guy that you can't squash. So
Well,
it's
that was
like,
the thing
yeah,
is
he
that-
got squashed, but he did kind of came back at the end.
I liked how they fought it
but-
back, and they had it being that he started working the legs right, and he had there was an angle to it of how Daniel Bryan could, or I don't know what it was called.
But there was a
Bryan.
point
Daniel
where
Bryan
he'd been
could
done,
fight.
right? Like, he should have
Oh,
been
sure,
done,
yeah,
but
totally.
he's Daniel Bryan, so he's not
Yeah,
done.
yeah, well, yes,
But
yeah,
any
yeah.
other man would have been done.
Of course. Well, that's why he's one of the greatest performers of the last decade, right?
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like he's known for his actual technique and how he can move and like
Sure.
how he plays the whole thing compared to like Braun Strowman would have got that beating and maybe been almost done, but
Well,
Daniel Bryan got that beating and then he's not done. Oh yes, maybe he got it. We all knew he didn't got it, but it's like
Well, that was the thing. Like, yeah, of course, I didn't think he had it. I didn't think he was going to win this match, right? I don't see how you can do it. The way I credit that this is an amazing match for me, at least, is the fact that when Brian put him in his finisher, his submission move.
Yeah.
The second time, I'm leaning over because this is, of course, I'm fucking front row. I'm gonna do this. Leaning over front row, pounding on the fucking thing, screaming tap, and I thought he might actually do it. Like, and to Brock's credit, I thought he gave a great performance of he might actually tap, and I was like, I would have been flabbergasted if he tapped to Daniel Bryan. You know what I
that
mean?
would
On
make
this-
headlines.
Exactly.
That would end up on World Star.
Exactly.
Like, Brock
And so,
Lesnar
like,
tapped out.
And,
Yeah, that'd
and
be
again,
crazy.
I'm going fucking crazy. Jen's going fucking crazy, right? And that was my thing. I was wondering if it was just going to be the Ronda thing, but no, she's a wrestling fan. She's going fucking nuts, right? This is the same match where, yeah, in the brutality of it, Jen is standing there like this, and WWE cuts to her, right? Of
love
like
it.
the fucking full screen of
which
her.
is a dream.
Oh yeah.
Like you want that
Oh,
reaction.
yeah, you wanna be in the
it's
reaction
so
shots,
cool
yeah.
that happened to her. Real shit, dude. Props to your wife.
Yeah, no, she fucking killed it.
reacted, bro.
But that was the thing too, is like at that point, she had been there long enough, I think, to learn the rules, right? Of like, oh, we're exaggerating everything, right? You know everybody's fine, but you're still like, oh my fucking god, what is happening? You can't believe they kicked out. I can't believe I'm pounding on the fuck. Like you lose it of like, you lose your, you check your,
You
you know.
suspense disbelief.
Yeah, exactly.
You have fun.
Dude, that's what it is.
I mean,
it's
like-
Disneyland when you do Disneyland right.
Yeah,
where you're like,
yeah, yeah.
Just get
hey,
into it.
I'm
Why
here.
not?
We're gonna act like this is what we're doing. Like we're on this ride and we want to be in a different world right now. And that's WWE.
Yeah.
Like I love all of it so much. I love the production, and there's nothing that matches WWE like Disneyland. Like us doing our bullshit that we do. It's like we got to
It's not
check your
It won
bullshit
the,
at the door.
It's real to me,
get
damn it.
Won that belt fair and square. Just when it was.
All right, fine.
He gotta watch
and
it.
yeah, so yeah, Brock still wins, but I thought it was an incredible match, and it was and again, I'm there, so that's a different thing. I'm front row.
Yeah.
I'm part of it. I'm yelling. I'm
Watching it from home, I was like, "There's no way." Then I
Sure.
saw Brian coming back, and I'm like, "All right, there's no way."
I see,
bro.
but
It's
that,
not
again,
happening."
I'm there at front row, thinking all
And
that,
you're gonna be
knowing
like,
all
I'm
that,
gonna
but I'm
do
still
that.
like, he might do it. It was like to try to sum up wrestling it to somebody who doesn't care or doesn't understand. I'm sure you don't stay this long. I always go back to Backlash, Kansas City. It's Hogan versus Triple H for the title, and when
What year is this?
I was afraid you're gonna ask that
Or like
question.
ish, because
Oh, this is I'm in college, so this is 2003. We'll say
okay.
it's when Hogan's back in the yellow and red, and he wins the title from Triple H. So yeah, whatever. But it was that thing.
must have been like 02 or 01, but yeah,
yeah.
it was 03 is when I started.
Yeah,
it
you're
was
right. You're right.
definitely
You're right.
not
You're
that.
right. You're right. Because I don't think I was living with Kyle yet. I think I was still in the dorms, maybe. Anyways, it was a pedigree, and he kicked out of it. Hogan kicked out of it, and I think he got another one and kicked out of it. And he can't, and I remember the place is fucking bananas.
I don't
The
get
entire
it.
place is crazy. And I'm like, how does he kick out of it? And it's wrestling. It's all like, how does he kick out of a second pedigree? And my friend John grabs me and he's like, cause it's pay-per-view. Like we're all like fucking, but like that's the energy and the excitement. And he fucking hit the boot and he hit the leg and everybody went nuts when he won. You know what I mean? To see Hulk Hogan win the world title. You know what I mean? And like that's when wrestling's at its best, when you like totally are lost. When I'm pounding on the side and screaming to tap, I'm not doing it because there's a mic or anything like that. I'm doing it because like I'm not playing a part. I'm playing a part a lot of the other times, having fun, the reactions, and having a great time.
I go to concerts all the time. I do a whole bunch of things, live events.
Yeah.
I never do anything. I never move. I never dance. I never do any of that shit.
Yeah.
But when there's chants going on
Oh,
at
yeah.
WWE events, I'm chanting, man.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
doing that.
Hell yeah, you are.
It's the
Yeah.
only thing that can get Cool Greg to move.
It's true. It really is so true.
So Brock
dude.
wins. That's the end of the pay-per-view.
Boo.
Yeah.
Seriously, boo.
Yeah.
But that's part of the
I fuck with
game.
Brock, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the game.
No, he's got to win. He's got to win until he loses. That's how it goes.
A guy comes over and snips our chairs because the chairs are all tied together with zip ties.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Yeah. Snip the chairs. I got my chairs. And
Real awkward.
Then the homie, Keith, shows back up. And he's like, well, let's go backstage again. And so we go backstage again. And this is when we're walking. And it's like, yeah, like, this is earlier, I guess, but I saw the Uso brothers like, hey, great match. Like, thanks, man. You know, like, we're walking around back there. We're talking to people.
There you go. Let's go.
Yes, go.
Yeah. Also, I got early on in the pay-per-view, I got the first thing best friend started freaking out about was when I yelled at a ref. I was like, get control of the match, ref. Like that one popped really huge. And then the fact that we have
I wonder if they like that or don't like that.
to the fact that I have too much power and we have too much power as Kind of Funny fans. They got that to the ref who tweeted back at me of like, I'm sorry, I'll try to do better. Like he would 1000% loved it.
That's
totally.
awesome.
Was it the guy with the blonde hair?
Yeah. Well, not like the WCW.
Okay,
No,
that
no,
guy's
no.
legendary.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
Ric
No,
Flair,
everyone
son.
knows. Yeah.
Nick, like, can you imagine Greg at this event? Like, it's kind of scary.
No, it's awesome.
Like, I know you just saw like random
No. So
tweets
I
and
saw
images.
obviously just a few things here and there, but I was like, I can't imagine how much fun he's having right now.
Oh my god!
Dude, it was another level.
This is the definition of a kid in a candy store.
100%.
I don't think you've ever been more Greg Miller.
I mean, I was in my element. You know what I
I
mean?
love
And that's
it.
what I was talking about. I talked about it when we went last time to SmackDown, and you know, it was super fast or Raw, and it was super fast, and I didn't give it enough time and everything. But like when I walk into an arena for a WWE show, it is coming home.
Yeah.
Like it is all the same smells, it is all the same people, it is all the same T-shirts, and it's just like, man, I've been gone a long time, but I remember this. And so like,
wait, were you wearing like an NWO shirt?
I wore the Greg World Order shirt, the GWO, that one of the best friends had sent me. Was it Kyle or somebody else? Fuck, I forgot. Sorry. Somebody sent me a Greg World Order shirt when I mentioned it, so I was wearing that, and I got a lot of credits too. A guy
I need one of them shirts, man.
a guy took a photo of me in it, and it was like, "Cool, my name's Greg." I'm like, "Mine's too." Thanks, yeah, it's a good shirt. And then WWE complimented me a few times.
Oh, I
but
love
backstage,
this.
like we went back there, and it's like getting walked down, and like, all right, here's the hair and makeup thing, and like other, people are leaving, coming, and going or whatever, and like, of course. We look like tourists. We're walking around with our chairs. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey. Like, all four of us, like, hey, whatever.
You're like, but I want this chair so badly.
But
so
we're walking, and Keith runs into some other guys who also know Jeremy. So they stop and they're talking like, business and all that stuff. And we're sitting there talking, and I look over their shoulder at this gentleman walking over and stopping on his phone. And I turn to Jen. I'm like, that's Ric Flair. That's Ric Flair.
No
That's Ric Flair."
shit.
And she's like, where? Because Jen knows Ric Flair, obviously.
yeah,
Where?
what's the documentary about him?
Exactly, yeah. And I'm like over there, and like she couldn't see him. Like did that thing where I like grabbed her head and turned it, and then she is doing the talons into my arm, like
Yeah.
she's like freaking out too. And to his fucking credit, man, Ric Flair. They were the other guys were like giving him shit about something. He got off his phone. He's like, wow, wow, and he kind of glanced over and he saw like all of us like, and he's like, hey everybody, how you doing? Came over. I'm Rick.
Dripped.
I'm Rick.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, are
Ric Flair
you
dripping.
fucking kidding
Man is
me?
my
You know
idol.
what
Yeah.
I mean?
I wanna be him.
Yeah.
TMZ
Dude.
like 2 hours ago just put out a post saying like, Charlotte celebrates Ronda Rousey victory with Ric Flair, and I'm like, man, we knew that shit because my bro was out there last night rocking with him. That's
I
cool.
love it. I love it. My WWE story was WrestleMania 28 when we went out. It was me and Rich George. Now one of the many Mr. Nintendos.
Yeah.
And we went out there. It was just the two of us. It was my first IGN event where they sent me out to like do a real thing that wasn't just like, oh, it's Bay Area. It's like, no, we're flying you out to cover this. And I was there like 5 days in Miami to cover this event that was 1 day of video games.
And you wonder why THQ went out of business.
Weird. No, it was THQ. THQ was like, yo, yeah, we're gonna pay for all this. It was like, this is so stupid, but I'm so in because like me and my brother had been out of WWE for a while at that point, but it was like, hey, this is the main event is John Cena versus The Rock.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So everyone showed up.
Yeah.
So many legends. Everyone was there.
Was this like
And
a passing of the torch kind of thing?
Oh yeah, it was passing the torch, but The Rock won.
Fuck
dude.
yeah, he did.
We lost our minds. It was fucking incredible.
You gotta let The Rock win.
But for me, the biggest story was being in the hotel bar. We're all hanging out, and at that point, I didn't really drink. Like now, I drink. It's all you guys. You're well familiar.
Yeah.
There's a problem, but back then,
It's only a problem if you let it.
I did not drink at all.
Yeah.
And you guys both
The pure one. That's
Yeah,
where it all
the
starts
pure
from.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was there in Miami, and I was there with the THQ PR people that I'm not going to name. And we're hanging out, and we're walking around, and I see Ric Flair and a bunch of other wrestlers. Chris Jericho, who we had interviewed earlier in the day, like it was like, oh shit, let's do this. So we walk up to Chris, hanging out. It was a great time. Ric Flair comes up to us, and like he looked at me, didn't know who the fuck I was, and he was like, "We're all taking shots right now, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we are."
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I have to say,
Yeah, we
John,
are, Rick.
If this is the first time I ever drink alcohol, it's going to be with Ric Flair. That's
So
awesome.
like he got a bunch of shots, and we all did it, and we fucking took the shots, and he wooed. And I was like, "Don't tear up, don't tear up. This is fucking incredible."
I would have just gone ahead and cried.
I
don't know, like,
called
I'm
my
gonna cry.
brother right after it happened.
Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom. I faked it, and I went. I'm like, "Yo," I didn't say Cool Greg because that wasn't.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't
you
know
just
his
called
name
him
was
Greg at the time.
Gregory.
Greg. I just took a shot with Ric fucking Flair. Yeah, so
That's-
that's my Ric Flair story.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a great story too.
He wooed.
Yeah,
That's
Did it.
awesome.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah,
so-
watching that documentary or about him was so fascinating because I didn't realize I have no touchstone for Ric Flair other than he was this like ridiculous guy that had this crazy hair. But watching and hearing people's stories of being like, no, like he was the guy you wanted to like wrestle with because he would make you look so good.
Yeah, he puts you over.
He would just totally sell it, and no matter what, like everyone loved him, of course, because he was like the ultimate heel. And I'm like, oh, that's eye opening. Maybe, yeah, that's good. That's inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the highest compliment I've been paid recently was, I'm not going to name this, but somebody we work with from the video
Kevin,
game industry.
Joey,
No, shut up.
Andy.
Shut up. Fucking moron. We need to make that shirt. Said we were talking about it, and they were like, "You're really good at putting people over." And it wasn't in like Paxamania style. It was like just in general. I'm like, oh, that's what this is all about.
So true, man.
Yeah. Anyways, though,
Gotta love it.
met Rick. That was awesome. Was backstage, and then we impressed Keith early on when Jen and I, as professionals, when we were walking in backstage the first time, we're like, "What are the social media rules?" And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, what can we take photos of?" He's like, "Oh, well, thank you. No one's ever asked before, and I'll just tell you if you can or can't." I'm like, all right. And so the only
that's
thing
the worst rule.
when we were walking, well,
Yeah.
it was ask or talk, have a conversation. We're walking by, and I saw gorilla position. You know the spot,
Yeah.
right? Do you know gorilla
Is that
position?
where people like get ambushed?
No, it's where you wait behind the curtain, like to come out.
Right,
Where
okay.
like
You're
you're
like-
about to go out, and then you clear it, and then you take a turn, and you're out on the stage. And I saw it, and they were like, "Oh, that's gorilla position." We kept walking. I was like, "Can I go get a photo back there?" And he's like, "That's one of the one places you can't take a photo." I'm like, "I totally get it. That's totally fine." And then he's like, "But do you want to go out and get on the ramp and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah,
You're
we
like,
do."
that's better.
So
That's
we went
better than
out.
what the
We
other thing
went
I was
out
gonna do.
there.
Jen runs down.
Yeah, we went out there. We got all the photos with the set to our back. Then he's like, "Do you guys want to go down and touch the ring?" And we were like, "Yeah,
I sure do.
Yeah, we do." And we walked down there, and
Can I
again, it
take
was
a
my
bump?
hand on it. No, they don't. You can't get in the ring. Don't get crazy now. Touched it, and then Jen's like, "I want to run down the ramp." He's like, "All right." And so Jen did what her entrance would be of running down the ramp and stuff.
Real question.
Yeah.
How many years away? How far away do we feel like we are from getting you in that ring? Is that ever? Do you think that's ever a reality? Like not in a I'm gonna wrestle, but like in a they pull me from the crowd, I get my ass kicked and thrown back into the thing.
If we play our cards right, we're not that far out. I mean, it's one of the. It's
I want to say shout out Mega Ran, who did the freestyle thing with Xavier Woods, and he was in the
Yeah,
ring.
he was in the ring,
kind of
right?
my best friend right
Ring.
there.
And that's the
dude.
thing is
In the
like
Bay Area, right?
I don't think I mean like our dreams are
That was-
crazy obviously and like the things we've already accomplished are insane. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. You know what I mean? Like
definitely is.
I don't.
Not
It's
beyond
also
that.
like for me, it's definitely
Clarify.
it's very much the what we're talking about with like the Ronda thing, right? Of like I feel like she's trying to earn that. Like again, like that's a thing. You know what I mean? Like that takes the right amount of setup of why that's happening.
Like how many times do we have to send you to these events and
Right, just yell at people?
and pay for you to be in the front row before
Dude, if
Xavier pulls you out and kicks your ass and then you become
when
a
we
thing.
did that WWE sports thing, I thought, oh man, that's an interesting angle into that kind of world.
Yeah.
Because it is that thing of like,
'Cause then you're getting to know
I'm never going to
people.
join WWE. I'm never going to be on the road
No.
350 days a year. That's not. I don't. This is
That's
my
a hard
dream. This is
life,
my
yeah.
company. This
Yeah.
is what I
We
want to
need you
make
here.
it.
We need you here,
But I
Papa.
do want to be a part of that world in some way. But in the same way of paying it forward, right? Of doing it right. Like I know it sounds like you called it, you laughed when I called it product or all this stuff, but it's like wrestling is an interesting business
I only lacked
where it
when
gives
they call
you
it product because that's what the narcos call cocaine.
Gotcha.
Got it.
But it gives you a specific terminology and it gives you a very specific set of rules and ethics, right? Like as somebody who read, the first two Mick Foley's biographies, right? And
read the
read
first one.
read Jericho stuff, and you watch these things and you listen to stories, and they call them the boys, and they're ribbing each other, and like you know the history, this, and it's like respect is what it's all about, and that's why it would never be that like I never want to do like the fucking Mystery Men Ben Stiller fucking crossover I remember from Raw where they were on GTV, and this is a very very deep WWE reference.
this is
But like
in there.
that's the thing is like if I were ever gonna do it, it's got to be right and it's got to be cool. And I mean,
Yeah,
like,
100%.
with
You have to
Xavier,
pay
you know what I
reference,
mean, with
right?
up down down, there's a whole bunch of cool shit that could happen that way, right?
Yeah.
With us being, I don't know, like I think the reaction of like. It's very much like I was talking to somebody backstage about, oh man, like, yeah, we saw you getting a lot of tweets about it. I'm like, we're not a Venn diagram, we're a circle. You know what I mean? Like a lot of our audience likes wrestling, and a lot of your audience likes us. Not that's a misnomer. A good portion of your audience likes us. You know what I mean?
A lot of them hate us.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you
A lot
kidding
of
me?
them hate
They're
us.
all about it.
Cool Greg has still never met Sasha Banks.
Matter
That's not
once,
true.
got an autograph right there.
Autograph up there.
Oh, that is true.
Obviously.
That is true.
Didn't- yeah,
You
she
guys-
signed-
Had it on my motherfucking heart forever.
Yeah.
Okay, that is true. But you guys haven't like hung out. Like there hasn't been a conversation in a real.
There
life.
hasn't been an equal. Hey, we're
I
just
talked
people.
to her. I said my name.
Yeah, but you
I think
didn't-
it was
you-
Kevin was like, you should have talked more, and I was like,
It's-
no. And then
it's
she sent me a
different,
tweet like, you
though.
definitely
It's
should have
different.
talked more. And I
Exactly.
was like,
You didn't
"Ah,
say who
whatever."
you were. You didn't throw the name Cool Greg around. You were just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, whatever.
I'm just Greg.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever,
So-
man. Hey, she
No.
a busy lady, man. She
Look,
got a lot
I
of
do-
autographs to sign and shit. Come
Hey
on,
man,
man.
it
We ain't
continues
talking
this
about these
world.
randos.
It
We talking about
continues-
the greatest.
You're doing
Come
it
on.
right because you're building this persona. Where when I did the WWE sports thing and I met her and she was like, oh yeah, and you were with that Cool Greg guy. I'm like, yeah, Cool Greg works for me. Yeah, he's
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah,
exciting
yeah,
to hear.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
hey,
She
somebody
knows
tweet
you're
this
on the
at me,
radar,
tweet this
buddy.
at me because that's fucking dope. She said that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, she knew who you were. She knows what's up. And then we left. And then we left with our chairs and we went back to the hotel and then I went and got ramen
I do
with a
want
bunch of friends.
Before
in
we
Xavier.
go on too far, me and Kevin, we've had some cool experiences. I mean, usually Kevin's not the biggest wrestling fan, but he does.
I love going.
Yeah, he does come with
Exactly,
me.
yeah,
and, like
right.
we've always had great times, and he said before, like when I saw the Sasha Banks match, I was like at SummerSlam last year, I was like my stomach, to me like it was hurting so much, but. I don't know. We've had some great experiences, but every time I go there, and it's like part of the reason my stomach hurts so much watching Sasha fight for the titles, because like I want like when you go to one of these things and you spend that money. Obviously, we didn't spend that money, but like it was still our time and everything. Like
Oh yeah, you're invested.
right, yeah, we're so invested. We want to see history. We want to see something worth talking about,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. When you asked me like how'd you feel at the Survivor Series, I mean there wasn't that too much great things worth talking about, but you've had a few moments that are like people are not going to forget Charlotte beating the shit out
Yeah.
of fucking Ronda Rousey. Like people, that's going to be a moment that's going to live. Like obviously the jump that Shane did, no one cares.
Yeah, whatever.
It's old
He does
news
that all the
now.
time. He does that all the time.
But before, like last year, that'd be the moment I'd want to see.
Sure.
I want a Shane jump. But it's just it's funny to me how everything changes so much. Where it's like you really have a moment that's like nobody would have thought they were going to see Charlotte beat up Ronda Rousey, even if you bought tickets.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
were going
yeah.
to get a different match.
Yeah.
So it was. You got a good one, man. You got
Yeah.
a real good one.
Yeah. And that was Survivor Series. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy show. Did it live up to your expectations of me holding back stories?
It's
all
only
day
a
long?
slow clap if no one else.
No, I
You
know.
gotta
Well,
join
no,
that
I
chat.
didn't read it as a sarcastic clap. I was making sure you checked out. You're
That's
fine.
really good. It was fun.
All right, cool.
It's a good story.
If you didn't know, no, that's not the right one.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna do each and every weekday. That's not what it is. They're all very
I
the
get
same
lost in them all.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do the Game
And
Over Greggy
so-
show each and every week. And if you like it, you should go to patreon.com/kindafunny.
4 sometimes.
5 best friends gather on this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. You can get it early. Watch it live like so many of you are right now. Thank you on Patreon Patron Day. Of course, You can also get it early on Fridays as a big old MP3. Or if you want that pre and post show we do for live kids, you can subscribe to the video version. If you don't want any of that and don't have any bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can get the show the next Friday, a little bit later. But it's up as a YouTube video. It's up as an MP3. It's always there for you. Thank you for letting us be part of your lives and making our dreams come true. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Thank you for enjoying that. If you did, click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny. Click there to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. Click here to subscribe to Patreon, where you can give us money to keep doing the cool things that we're doing, or click here for whatever Cool Greg wants to put here.